What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Stallion Speaks. You know it, baby. You know what time it is. It's time to speak your piece tonight. And can you believe it, guys? We are 3 days away from the big game. Miami, Ohio State, the next chapter. A lot of trash talk being said, mostly by the fans, a little bit by their players. Miami just handling business, just staying, keeping their mouths shut, So I really don't know what to think about it, but, I hope people come on tonight. Don't know if I'm going to have any guest co-hosts tonight or not, but we'll get through this show because there's a lot to talk about, and I got a lot to say. We're getting close to the end of the year. Have you made your New Year's resolution yet? Because I know I have. I'm ready for this year to be over. This has been a very trying year. I've had a career change, but I've made a lot of new friends. I've gotten rid of a lot of phony shit in my life, and I hope that a lot of that has happened to you as well. But the most important thing is that the Canes are still playing football, and we will know by the stroke of midnight whether our season has ended or we will move on to the Final Four of college football. Very tall order in charge of us. But that being said, I want to first shout out and give love to the channel. Thank you for watching the Rebels with a Cause channel and this show. Your love and support means anything. We're now up to 153 subscribers, over 19,000 views. Keep punching that like button and share our cause so we can gain others to join it, baby. That's all I need to say about that. Also, the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of other organizations or of any entities. This is solely the Italian Stallion's views, as well as his co-hosts and audience members. Also, remember, if you want to join the chat box live, we're going to get those comments going. I will be providing the show link here shortly. You can come on for about 5 minutes and speak your piece tonight. What's your thoughts coming up? More than anything, we've got these bowl games that have been going on and so forth. I like to call them the nobody gives a shit bowl games. We've been a part of them for many years, but it's about to get real. But no, congratulations to any team that made a bowl game in reality. But, I just don't even recognize the names. I mean, they're all about sponsors. They got gimmicks and good for them. But I'm just glad our Canes are in the game that matters the most, a game that we're legendary for. Back in 1990, when we ran Texas off the field, we had as many yards as well as touchdowns as we did penalties that day, and it was just so unbelievably a merciless ass kicking and showing how much better Miami was than Texas. And, Miami at that time was the bad boys of college football. They were running the show. Well, it's not been our show, and it's not been our show for a long time. And like I said, if you look at my banner, we're going to shock the world. And I mean this. No disrespect to Ohio State. You might kick our ass, and I will be the first one on Sunday to talk about it. But if we do what I think we're going to do, we're going to win by 10 points on New Year's Eve night. And you can come back and say, thank you, Stallion. That means the world that you were right and so forth like that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I just feel that it's Miami's time. And until we've got a puncher's chance in this matchup, Ohio State is the champs, and we're getting a chance to take on the champ. And I feel it, just like how Adonis Creed felt taking on Pretty Ricky Conlon in original Creed. Just like Rocky got a chance against Apollo, we're going to get a chance at the champ. And when you have a puncher's chance like Miami does in a game, you got nothing to lose. You got to leave it out on the field. Simple as that. So it's going to be big time. It's going to be huge, huge. But more than anything, I do have an end of the year rant that I did want to get started more than anything because there were some things that were going on. So, real quick, before I get to that rant, let's take a look here. Rocky, have a great show, my brother. Thank you, sir. Good luck to your Bears tonight. Let's get it, bro. You bet, Shane. Coach's Corner coming soon. Absolutely. We got so much fun shows coming up on the channel coming up, and I hope that you give my guys a chance to entertain you the way that you allow me to entertain you guys on Sunday nights. But that being said, let's get to this end of the year rant, okay? First and foremost, let's talk about the wonderful ACC. Another crap conference, honestly. I mean, let me just say this right now, guys. Here we had these teams that performed, and here they have done absolutely nothing. With the exception of Virginia yesterday, you couldn't have played worse, honestly. Clemson is just ass. I mean, they are both cheeks, the crack, dimples, hole, stink like shit, honestly. They are awful. And I don't know where they turn, and it really kind of shows. I see a mirror of Clemson of what really Miami was, because Dabo really may not be as great of a coach as everybody thinks. I think that he was elevated because of the coordinators he had. Those coordinators have moved on and have made their program successful, and now you're seeing what Clemson's kind of living off of. Maybe just looking at rankings and not really evaluating talent. It's absolutely abysmal that they've not even learned about this transfer portal. I mean, that's like going into a fight with two hands behind your back. And they got shown the door by a Penn State team. You know, that game, a lot of people were thinking might be your Cotton Bowl. Said you got Ohio State and Miami, thank God. But preseason rankings had those two teams up there in the top 10. And they couldn't have put in a worse bowl game there in Yankee Stadium. And not to be outdone was Pittsburgh yesterday. I mean, they got beat. Georgia Tech, who a lot of teams were thinking were going to run the table. I mean, be glad Notre Dame didn't show up. They would have put 35 on you. But BYU put a game together. The stands were empty. Those two Pop-Tarts were fighting. It just brought me to PTSD from last year, guys. It made me want to throw up, honestly. But thank God we're not in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Those two teams can have fun in it. But that being said, shout out to at least NC State for making a win. Thank God for Louisville winning and having some chili afterwards in that chili bowl game. Cal, I don't know what the hell you did. You lost to Hawaii at the end, to the backup. Thanks. I mean, it's just bad. So right now, Miami is the torchbearer. Miami's the torchbearer for the ACC. So hopefully we can do what we can do. Virginia, I mean, I know you beat Missouri, but somebody told me that was Missouri's third string or second string quarterback. That was not the same Missouri that was competitive in those other SEC games. But that being said, hats off, you got the win. Should have beaten Duke. Might have even been in the CFP. But that being said, so what's up, Brandon? Great to be a Kane. Looking forward to a great show. You bet. I hope to hear from you tonight. Honestly, 5 minutes. I'm about to show the link. That being said, I'm also paying attention to the players that have jumped to the portal. Did you know that Texas guys lost all 4 running backs? I mean, Baxter, Jarrett Gibson. I mean, they're gone. And there's rumors that because Texas fired the running backs coach, that they've hired Florida's old running backs coach, that Jaden Baugh might be paired with Manning. And that's great and all, but truth be told, it's like you still need an offensive line to run behind, which they didn't. They're paying $50,000 an offensive lineman at Texas, by the way. Maybe a little bit more based on your grades. Some beef companies sponsoring them. That being said, all these guys are running somewhere else. I don't know if they land anywhere. I know some of them have had some injuries that have hurt them. But at the same time, it's like you're seeing that all across football. It's not that anybody wants to stay. There's no loyalty. It's about the money. And realistically, great. But there has to be some control put in place. For the teams that are actually playing in the CFP, it's going to be interesting for those that win. Because when that portal opens up, there's going to be some players that are still going to be on the team that have a decision to make. Do they want to stay on the team and maybe get a ring? Or are they going to jump the portal and not be a part of the festivities? That's going to be very interesting when you think about that. And I'd pay attention to that too, especially with some people that are on the fence of not being happy. There still could be some coaching changes. There still could be some teams that maybe think they have a coach in place that maybe takes that jump to the NFL. And then that opens up an individual portal for that team, depending on who the next hire is going to be. But it's just unbelievable, guys. It's just, it's downright sad, the state of college football. You used to remember guys like, oh, they're going to be good come next year. Now there's not even a telling if they're even going to be there. Heaven forbid an injury happens or anything like that. It's a whole new ball game. I'm still trying to get used to it. I remember the days where guys would stay 3 or 4 years and you enjoyed every game, every highlight. There's no loyalty now. And I get it. They got a shelf life. They got to make the money while they can. Not all of them are going to go pro. But at the same time, what's the point? What is the actual point to be invested with some of these guys when they're not even going to be there all 3 or 4 years? You hope they help you win now, but there's no consistency. Last but not least, Wednesday night, Miami has a chance to take out the defending champs, a team that they have history with. And, it's easy for people to mock Miami fans. Oh, get over it. It was 20-something years ago. Well, that's easy for you to say. You weren't on the other end of that call. You weren't the fan that had to endure what happened that night, nor what you had to endure what happened afterwards. That could have been any other team that night. Could have been Iowa, could have been USC at the time, could have been Georgia when Mark Richt had just gotten there. Notre Dame had a fun season that year with Ty Willingham, if I remember correctly. But no, it was Ohio State. And Ohio State had close calls all year long. Miami had a couple, but Miami, for the most part, was on a 34-game winning streak. Everybody was wondering, was it going to be Miami that goes down? Miami, I forgot, was like a 14-point favorite going into that game. A lot of people were thinking this is going to be Nebraska Part 2. Well, in reality, you go back and watch that game, Miami was its own worst enemy. And I'm not taking anything away from Ohio State. If you go back and look at who got drafted from their team over the next couple of years, including that very draft, they had players on their team. And what's interesting is that Miami, if you think about it, realistically, maybe did underestimate them. There was a flyer that there was going to be a party at Clinton Portis's place, afterwards. Kirk Herbstreit used it in his prediction and said Ohio State was going to win. Corso put on the headgear and said Miami. He had been wrong for a while, except for picking Miami against Tennessee a few weeks earlier. But every other headgear prediction, he was wrong. But he picked Miami. And how could you not pick Miami? But realistically, Miami goes up 7-0, and Ohio State turns the ball over. If Miami even gets a field goal or points on that drive, maybe you are looking at a blowout, because I don't think that Ohio State offense was built to come back from a big deficit. But at the same time, they made the plays when it mattered. They did. If you think about it, they got when they put points off of Dorsey's interceptions. I mean, he missed one horribly. And Andre Johnson couldn't have picked a worse game to pick, honestly. I mean, he really did. Kellen Winslow was the guy that kept Miami in that game. McGahee, the Miami coaches said prior to the game privately, they were worried about Ohio State's defensive line. And let me tell you something. That Tim Anderson, Peterson, Will Smith, and that Darian Scott guy, they were up in Miami's grill the whole time. Finally, Miami kind of got a little bit of lanes in the second half. And then, of course, the devastating injury to McGahee. That was just awful. And you think about things. There were other bad calls. Ohio State fans can point out that, Gamble was held before that, before we even got the opportunity to tie it to send it to overtime. Okay, I'll do one better for you. What about the bad call where we got the interception by Sean Taylor and it was ripped out by Maurice Claret? The tie still goes to the offense or what have you. They both had their hands on it. At that point, Sean Taylor was the offense. It doesn't go to the defense. That was the rule back then. But they gave the ball to Ohio State. Ohio State got 3 points out of that. If they don't get 3 points, that could be Todd Severs kicking the game winner and making it 17-14, and you don't even go into overtime or double overtime. Or what if Roscoe breaks it? He'd been close all year to breaking one, and he didn't do it. So there were so many plays going back and forth in that game. But I'm going to tell something that people probably don't even remember or know. What I find very interesting is that, and maybe some major Ohio State fans might even remember this if you were as diehard of your fan back then as you are now, as I was back then. And I was a young kid. I was 18, almost 19 years old at the time. I read a story, and I kind of went, Do you know that Jim Tressel, over the summer, going into that season, went to watch Miami practice? Larry Coker invited him, said, yeah, come on in, and everything like that. And Larry Coker afterwards, leading up to the game, said, well, hell, if I would have known they would have been this good, I wouldn't have invited them in here and let them watch our stuff. Jim Tressel was a lot of things. Jim Tressel was a smart coach. Don't let that little sweater vest and the Pee Wee Herman look. No, that guy could coach. And he was focused. And he watched everything of Miami. Coker underestimated the fact that they were going to be that successful. I knew they were going to be a problem. I knew they were going to be a problem when that man in the gym announced he was going to beat Michigan in his first season. And Michigan, with the exception of 1 year, couldn't beat that man. He made it a point to do what John Cooper couldn't do, and that was beat Michigan. But no, they were way ahead of schedule, and they did win games. And the talent was there. Cooper didn't leave him an empty shelf. They just couldn't get over the hump and beat Michigan. They'd had plenty of good players. But be it as it may, you invited the enemy to watch you. And don't think he didn't make notes of who was who and what was what. They were prepared. And he had been watching film. And we had Larry Coker, who was throwing up before the Nebraska game a year before. So I rest my case, guys. But that being said, Wednesday night, you have an opportunity to handle business. You really do. And realistically, more than anything, is that it's our time to get it back. You got to get that eye of the tiger back, Miami. And this is the opponent. It's right there. The story is there. You just got to walk it. You can't turn the ball over 5 times like that team did. If injuries happen, it sucks. But you got to get yourself mentally prepared. And you've got to play 4 quarters of football and battle like you've never battled before and leave it out on the field. If they kick our ass, then they kicked our ass. But it better not be because we were unprepared, because we didn't want it enough. No, this is our time. The roles are reversed. They're going for back-to-back. We're going to be the team that stops them. And it's all there for the taking. But don't leave it in the hands of the officials. Play your game. Have a smart game plan. And just play your hearts out, Miami. We believe in you. But you've got to believe in yourselves. And get us that national championship, that number 6 we should have had 3 years ago. That being said, I want to catch that chat box back up more than anything. Let's see here. Shane McGee, my coach, ESPN did a lot of stories in Miami today. Absolutely. Why wouldn't they? Honestly. Then you look at, hey, my boy Chris Kane, I'm going to have that link up here. I can't wait to hear from you tonight, brother. What's up, Stallion? Absolutely. Rocky, Chris, and motherfucking Kane. Better be ready to come New Year's Eve, Chris. Absolutely. What's up, Chris? Absolutely, Brandon. Yeah, Jim Tressel was a motherfucker to deal with. He definitely could coach and was a great recruiter. Legally and illegally, he could recruit. Yeah, but he had a game plan. He was ready. Yep, while Clemson losing Pinstripe Bowl and Georgia Tech losing Pop-Tarts Bowl, we're in the playoffs. It's great to be a Miami Hurricane. You bet your ass. Absolutely. Thank you. So, but that being said, as you see the Give a Shit Game Bowls, we'll start talking about those games, this week and so forth. So more than anything, I'm going to put the link up here to have everybody come on. More than anything, if you look at these games coming up, I've got it now down there at the bottom. Ohio State, Miami, obviously kicking it off New Year's Eve, 7:30. Then Orange Bowl the next day at noon. Texas Tech and Oregon at Hard Rock. Then Indiana against the Bama Crimson Tide there in Rose Bowl at 4 o'clock. And then the nightcap, Georgia and Ole Miss for an old-fashioned SEC slugfest down in the Sugar Bowl. So, but my question to you guys when I bring you on, will the favorites win a game this year? Remember, all 4 got beat last year. And then you kind of had some chaos. Still had some big-name teams, but it wasn't the teams you thought who had been dominant all year. And is the layoff going to affect these teams that they've not played in almost over a month? Each of them, even the ones that did play in conference championships. Do the ones that won have an advantage because they just played a game 10 days ago? Also, who's back from injuries? Maybe some guys that weren't there have had some time to rest their bodies, and they're fresh as a daisy. I know that's going to help Miami. Is there going to be an upset? Who's the best game out there, of the 4? Is there a weak game of the 4? I think these are the 8 best teams left. I believe that. Based on record, based on resume, based on excitement and intrigue. So there's a deserving champion amongst the 8. The question is, who's it going to be? And by midnight on New Year's Day, going into the 2nd, you're going to have a Final 4. 2 teams in the Fiesta Bowl, 2 teams in the Peach Bowl, Chick-fil-A Bowl. But Either way, it's going to be a great, great quarterfinals. I really feel it down deep. But links coming right now. So let me go on ahead and see who wants to come on. You'll be in the order that you all jump on here. And more than anything, like I said, you'll have 5 minutes to speak your piece. And more than anything, I just want to hear some great takes. I want to have a great discussion here. If the enemy's here watching, come on. I want to hear why Miami's not even in your league. I've been hearing that, you know. Yes, you have some great weapons. You have some dynamic weapons. So do we. You know, there was a time there in the beginning of September where you're the end of September going into October before the Louisville debacle. Everybody was saying who's 1 or 2, Miami or Ohio State. They both look like the best complete teams. Well, we're going to get that matchup, and we're going to find out through all the shit that happened. Ohio State's got stuff to prove too, guys. They really do. And so that link's in the chat box. I'll give you 5 minutes to come on. So, yep. Shane McGee writes, how the fuck does Snoop have his own bowl game? Yeah, and it aired on CW. Did anybody watch it? I mean, you're right. So Shane's got the Canes over the Buckeyes. He's got the Ducks over the Red Raiders. He's got the Crimson Tide over Indiana. And he's got Ole Miss over Georgia. Really, really good stuff right there. Yeah. I agree with 2 of the 4. I could see 3 of the 4 for sure. So, but that being said, I want to bring him on because, you know, he just made that prediction and those predictions, but I'd really like to hear his take on his thoughts on this upcoming quarterfinal. So without further ado, you should be able to catch his show coming up. I think he's going to be doing Saturday nights, Coach's Corner. But that being said, it's going to be debuting this year. So let's bring him on with a warm Rebels with a Cause welcome / Stallion Speaks. Actually, he just stepped out of the box, so maybe he's just not ready to go yet. But that being said, anybody else that wants to come on, I've got that link up there. You know, I want to hear what everybody's got to say. See here. Yep. Brandon's got, and Texas Tech beats Oregon. Yeah, I could see that. Actually, I got Texas Tech. If you're going to ask me right now who my predictions are, I said I've got Miami winning by 10. I've got Texas Tech handling business against Oregon. I think they're more physical. I think that Alabama is going to shock Indiana. And I think that Georgia's going to handle Ole Miss. Could be wrong. Could be completely wrong. But we'll see what happens. But that being said, I want to give him 5 minutes to speak his piece on here. Again, Coach's Corner. But that being said, let's welcome on to Stallion Speaks, our guy, Mr. Shane O'Mac. Welcome to Stallion Speaks, brother.
What's up, bro?
I want to just say, it's on, and I want you to speak your piece being a neutral fan that doesn't have a dog in this fight. You're a true hardcore Tennessee Vol fan. What's your thoughts, man, on the things that I've been asking for these games coming up?
All right, so here's my quick Coach's Corner on this one. I think we see a few upsets this week. That's a given. I've already kind of said who I think is going to do what. If you check the chat box.
Yep.
These bullshit bowl games, man, they're getting on my fucking nerves.
They're awful.
I was watching it. You know, a couple of our friends. You know, we went up to Pigeon Forge yesterday, do some go karts and shit. And we're eating pizza afterwards, watching these games. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit, man? I remember when bowl games actually fucking mattered, man. Like the first week was some bullshit games. Then everything after that was like, all right, like we get some real fucking football. This
after
ain't
Christmas,
real fucking football.
After Christmas, it was real. It got real after Christmas. You remember they used to have it was and I'll hold your time. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and they had some great matchups. Yeah. But you got all these people opting out, Coach.
I remember being in Iraq during fucking wartime, and the highlight was this time of fucking year. Watching Armed Forces fucking network. I have football all goddamn day to watch. Motherfucker, I don't want to watch shit now until it's the fucking playoffs. Because these games are fucking bullshit. And man, I'm glad I can talk like this right now because this ain't our fucking show.
It's not Rebels with the Cause. That's the PG show on Wednesday night. No, this is Stallion Speaks. So speak your piece. So yeah.
Like literally, I watched Snoop Dogg field a goddamn fucking kickoff in his fucking bowl game. Like, yeah. like, okay, cool, you got your own fucking bowl game. I want real fucking football. I either want a fucking close fucking game. I want that fucking Oklahoma Boise State Statue of Liberty play game where it's like, holy fucking shit, compared to two fucking cupcakes. Like, okay, who's gonna beat the shit out of the other one? And it's this football on for fucking to have football. Like, I love football. I live, eat, and breathe the fucking sport. I break down film on a fucking daily basis. But this shit, with the way they do the bowl games now, is fucking bullshit. Everybody's got a fucking bowl game. Might as well just say, oh, hey, you won 2 games. Here's the toilet paper fucking bowl.
Yep.
You won
And
one
look at
game
this.
in your fucking conference. Here's the shit bowl. But fuck it. It's football. No, fuck that. I want real fucking football. Give me fucking
Coach,
football.
am I wrong with what I put there? The nobody gives a shit bowls. I mean, look at some of these. The Cure Bowl. I mean, I had to fit in all the bowl games,
The
and I had to
Pop-Tarts were
shorten
more
their names.
entertaining than the fucking football game.
They were, and then the Xbox Bowl. I mean, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, the Gasparilla Bowl. I mean, and then I loved watching Louisville eat beans after they won the other day or whatever like that. I mean, what the hell are we talking about?
It was cool a couple years ago with Joe Milton throwing fucking oranges at the Citrus Bowl, 100 fucking yards. Okay, like that's fucking cool. Man, that's a real fucking bowl game.
Yeah.
The rest of this shit is fucking horrible. All it is about money. The game's getting fucking tarnished by this bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and there were some lopsided matchups. I mean, you had some low scoring games because you had people that hadn't played all year either. I mean, that was the other thing too. But be that as it may, let's talk about what's the good stuff that's coming up. I mean, we got a game on New Year's Eve, between Ohio State and Miami. I mean, what do you think?
I've got Miami winning it. And given the way ESPN is pushing Miami right now, the football gods that control the sport and the money, it's gonna be Miami.
Mm-hmm. I think they want that Georgia Carson Beck matchup in the Fiesta Bowl. I really think they want that matchup.
The Georgia Ole Miss is a coin flip for me.
It is. It is.
I think like they looked like, okay, we get Carson Beck going against his old team, but then you look at the Lane Kiffin drama that is Ole Miss. And how the fuck are you going to be the head coach of a new team? They're on a bowl game. You're televised, and you don't show up to the fourth fucking quarter. Talk real quick, and then you bounce out.
Yep.
LSU might get done worse than Tennessee Ole Miss did by Kiffin.
Oh,
it's all said and done.
I could see it. I mean, that guy has no allegiance to anybody but himself. That's it. To himself.
And his dad was probably one of the greatest men ever in football.
Yeah. Well, you want to know something though, Shane? To be fair, and this is not a popular take, I'm sure, with some Miami fans, but I was going back watching that Fiesta Bowl game, and I watched Kellen Winslow Jr. with all the God-given talent that kid had, and he had a great game that game. And then it's like he just the next year he deemed himself the chosen one. His soldier rant after the Tennessee loss, and then it just went from there. The motorcycle accident, and then he just got caught in the parking lot saying he was looking for Boston Market when he was playing with himself at the Target, and he's looking for Boston Market playing with himself, and he just sucked at life. And then whether it's the concussions or not, but look who his father was, Kellen Winslow Sr., one of the greatest tight ends in San Diego Chargers in history or whatever, Hall of Famer, and it's like, you can't.
It's almost like it's a curse to live up to your father's. If your father had that high type of pedigree and what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck it. Just the high demeanor.
You had to follow that legacy. You had to follow that legacy.
Everything that they do, how they carry themselves.
It's tough.
It's hard to live up to it, but especially as a player. But if you're a fucking coach, it ain't that fucking hard.
No, it's not. And he has been given some way great jobs, and granted, he has won some, but he has never won like a big time championship. He is not, and so forth. And maybe he does it at LSU, maybe he doesn't, but no, I mean, he's an asshole. I mean, he always has been an asshole, but
I'm an asshole. I'll admit I'm an asshole. He takes me to a whole nother level.
Absolutely.
Like I'm a fucking saint at this point.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Shane. Would it be, obviously you've got the seeds, you've got Ohio State's technically the 2, Miami's the 10, but there's a game right now that I actually have as an upset. And maybe some people may not see it as an upset, but I think Alabama has got something for Indiana on New Year's Day. I mean, Cignetti,
I
hell of a
will.
coach, nice story, but I don't know. I don't know. I
I will
mean,
always take an SEC team over a Big Ten team.
yeah. Even though you hate a
Just,
lot of the SEC teams that play Tennessee, obviously. So
I
yeah.
mean, I hate this fucking team. I hate
Mm-hmm.
Bama with a fucking passion.
Yeah.
If a family member told me roll tide, I would disown that family member. So I mean,
I hear you.
that's just how it is. But I will give credit when credit's due as a coach. I throw my bias aside for my big orange. Alabama's playing football where you're supposed to play football this time of year.
And
You
they made
make it
some
to the
adjustments.
playoffs, you're playing. Miami's doing the same thing.
Yep.
It's the Ole Miss Georgia game that I'm like,
Yep.
is the fix in? Because we know how football is. Vegas controls the odds, and
Correct.
they're going to make money. And I just feel like Ole Miss is going to pull something out their hat. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the way ESPN's pushing Miami, I think it's going to be Carson Beck's redemption.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, well, and here's the other thing too. I mean, the fact that you could have Alabama, Georgia, or no, sorry, you could have Alabama against Texas Tech in the Peach Bowl. And that basically be a virtual home game for Alabama, right down
Yep.
the street in Atlanta. Again, they're back there in Atlanta, and so forth if they get there. So the path, and then Oregon, nobody did them any favors. Somebody brought it up. If they go on this run, Oregon, they have to go to Miami, 3,000 miles, go back, then go pretty much like 2,900 miles to Atlanta, then go back, and then they'd have to go to Miami to win the whole thing. That's a lot of traveling back and forth for the
Well,
Oregon
last year it
Ducks,
worked for them
honestly. So
when they went down to freaking Pasadena. That's 24 hours away if you drive, and shit, they still got their brains beat in by Ohio State.
mm-hmm.
And we
Brandon
all
Brooks, Brandon Brooks says Indiana going to beat Alabama. It's time for a change, and y'all are going to see. Listen, I'm not an Alabama fan by any
oh no
means.
no no
Okay.
no
Oh no
I'm
no no
not
no.
either.
No. And like I said, if Indiana does it, and Cignati's a bad dude, I have been. If you watch all my shows, this one and the other one, I have been preaching Kurt Cignati all year long. And you've given this man 10 days or 11 days to prepare. I'm intrigued with what he's got. What
I didn't even want Bama in the playoffs because they lost
I
3
didn't want
games.
them either. No, I didn't want them either. But I'd say
Now
this
we
much.
talked about this earlier
Yeah.
on our show. So, but I just think Bama's playing the football that they need to play to get to the next level, and I don't know how Indiana responds. Because if you just look statistically looking, an SC team is better than a Big Ten team because we produce more talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rocky says, going to be a good one tonight, Stallion. Indiana and Oregon on one side, Georgia and Miami on the other. Be a hell of a Final Four. I mean, am I wrong by saying that these are the 8 teams? There's a deserving champion amongst them, and somebody has an opportunity, coach, to go out there and get it. Am I wrong by saying that?
You're
Everybody's
not
got an
wrong at all.
opportunity. So, yeah. I mean, you can look at it and say, I mean, everybody had a path to get there. I mean, because here's the thing. Indiana has to go through potentially Alabama, Oregon or Texas Tech, and then maybe face another SEC team or Miami or Ohio State, who many people have said throughout the year are, the big team, the big, strong, imposing team with a lot of speed. I mean, somebody's going to earn it one way or the other, no matter which bracket you navigate through. And I love that we're saying brackets like it's March Madness. It's almost like December, January madness.
I still like the way they set up this bracket. It just doesn't look right the way they match up the teams. It
Yeah.
doesn't sit right with me yet.
Yeah, I mean, I would. The only one that I'm kind of surprised about is that realistically, I don't know. Like, I get why Ohio State just fell one spot. They'd been number 1 all year. You're not going to really drop them. But Georgia was playing played great in that SEC championship, and I almost really thought that I can see maybe Ohio State maybe should have been a 4 seed. And you rank the 3 champions at least 1, 2, and 3 because they all have identical records. I mean, but you got to give Texas Tech credit for winning the Big 12. You got to give Georgia credit for winning the SEC. Indiana's number 1. So in reality, you might have almost had Georgia and Miami playing out now in the Cotton Bowl and having
I think that'd be a better game. I think
You
that'd be a
know,
better game.
and you could have Ohio State being the 4 seed taking on Oregon because you didn't get that matchup and it was fire last year. You know, you have a third game now and so forth. And then the other game would have been a 3 seed in Texas Tech taking on Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. You know, like that could have been something that was really going
I'd like
on
that
right
bracket
now.
better. I think we
It
get
would be a
better
little bit
quality
better,
football.
yeah. I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, these are the matchups we have, but at the same time, those matchups would have been very intriguing as well, honestly. And you still have Alabama obviously taking on Indiana. That matchup didn't change.
And like we talked on our
yes.
show, they need to do the play-in. You do the play-in for your 10,
The group of
11,
five. Yes.
12, or was it 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever seats we said. You take the
Absolutely.
16, 15, 14, 13. Yeah.
Yep.
And let them play in and see how
I
it
agree.
goes.
I like what Brandon wrote here. If Oklahoma had any kind of a run game, they would have beat Alabama. Oklahoma put too much on their quarterback, and his receivers were dropping passes, but their run game was totally absent. Oh, yeah. Oh, Brandon,
Yeah.
I can't agree more. And the defense was tired. I mean, their defense was dead tired. If you have a run game to control the clock, and, you know, that's going to be something right there. Ohio State didn't have much of a run game against Indiana. Alabama has less of a run game than Ohio State, where I feel that Alabama might be able to keep it where they have a puncher's chance against Indiana is the fact that they have played a week ago and maybe there's some rust there for Indiana. That's where I think might be where the upset happens. But realistically, you give Cincinnati, and I'm sure Cincinnati was planning for Alabama all along. He's probably got a great game plan, and we'll see it play out, obviously. So, you know, that being said, I do got to bring one more person on, Shane. But before I let you go, brother, final thoughts, real quick, before I let you go, man. Thank you for coming on and speaking your piece, brother. I love it. So,
Give me some real football. Thanks for me jump on this side where I can be completely uncensored for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Everybody's watching. Check out Coach's Corner. It's coming soon, as I'm the coach. And
great coach.
Get ready to talk some football when my show kicks off. So
absolutely. We're so excited, buddy, and I love you, man. And I hope you had a Merry Christmas. And I'll see you Tuesday night when we break this game down further.
Yeah, I'll have to give you some details about what we talked about the other day.
Absolutely, can't wait. So,
sorry, brother.
Well, I'll see you, brother. Take care. Thanks, man. That was our coach. Got to catch his show. But that being said, got to bring on my co-host. Yeah, he might be just a guest tonight, but you know him as that wonderful Cajun from Louisiana. He's been my brother. It feels longer than 8 years, but man, we are on a ride together, and we want to win this championship together. He is the co-host of You Talk. Larry Frank Jr. in the house, baby. How you doing, Larry? How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? What's going on? Look, I'm still out and about. We're still at some friends' houses, but I stepped outside. I said, look, I got to go make a quick appearance here, you know, because we kind of had some impromptu stuff going on. So I said, let me come on out here for a little minute and step on and get on and let's talk a little talking stuff tonight. What's up?
What's up, brother? Michael Lynn, thank you, sir. My brother, I owe you a beer if I can get this fantasy football and win this big money. I'm up by a couple points. He thinks I've got it in the bag, but like I said, they got to play out. The other guy's got one guy, and I got two guys, and that's where I'm going to leave it. And I'll be. You'll hear the biggest yell from Knoxville, Tennessee. But Michael Lynn says every team has a defense to get there. It's going to come down to quarterback play and offense, and who shows up when the lights are the brightest. You bet your ass. So also, Bama has no run game, as crazy as that is to say. Facts. And yes, we will keep you posted when Coach's Corner stops. So, yep. And Shane just said LFJ with exclamation marks. So, and Michael Lynn. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Michael Lynn, everybody. What's
up? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, you know, Larry, let me ask you this, brother. I started out talking about the ACC's dreadful performance in these bowl games, but how terrible have some of this shit been on our TV that's supposed to be bowl games, the best time of the year, more like the shit time of the year? What's up, man? What are your thoughts?
They need to downsize. I mean, I've always been one to think that they had too many bowl games, that not every team deserves to be in a bowl game. I think you're literally making it to where it's a participation trophy for a lot of these teams. And they need to do something, just like they need to do something with the playoffs and these G5 teams getting in. They need to do something with, you know, qualifications for a bowl game. they need to at least downsize a lot of these meaningless bowl games. Every bowl game is, listen, there's an old phrase that all money ain't good money. Well, all bowl games aren't good bowl games. And I mean, I'm sorry. It's a waste of time. And I mean, let's be real. The only people who are watching a lot of these less than stellar bowl games are alumni, students, fans of that university, and people that's gambling on it. Other than that, you're not going to get a nationwide audience that's watching some of these bowl games. I think you got SMU in the Holiday Bowl. I think they're playing West Virginia. I don't even know who they're playing. I saw the advertisement when I was watching the Eagles-Bills game. But I'm just thinking to myself, who's going to watch that game on Friday besides the people in Dallas, the SMU fans, and the people for the other school, especially, bookending the playoff game. So I just don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, you saw Penn State. They beat Clemson yesterday. That's not real. And that's two marquee names. That's really not a matchup that I really cared to see because both teams were terrible. But then you look at what happened last night with LSU and Houston. Once again, LSU fans, you saw with my guy Easy today, him and a lot of the other LSU fans, they were, had a vested interest in that game. But, I mean, nobody nationwide is worried about the Houston Cougars except the people in Houston.
That's true. You know what Shane said? Youth football. What the fuck just happened? You know what he just said? Youth football has less bowl games than this shit. That's what he just said. That's hilarious.
Right.
They have too many bowls. Michael Lynn goes, they have too many bowls, but the betting side of it says differently. Yep, that's where it's at. That's it.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, man. But all the ops out are making it hard on the bettors. Laugh out loud. That's what Michael Lynn said. Those are facts, man. I mean, it's even harder now to win your damn bowl pool. That's why I didn't even play in it this year because I'd be dead wrong on some of these matchups. I mean, if the bowl games were played at the beginning of the year when everybody was playing, that'd be an interesting way to start the season with the bowl games, and then just worry about the playoffs at the end. Have them at these sites or whatever like that. Just one individual at a conference.
Let me pose a question to you and pose a question to the chat.
Yep.
What is more agonizing for a fan? Those meaningless games the first 2 weeks of September versus inferior competition, or these meaningless bowl games? What is more torture for you to watch?
Honestly, the meaningless bowl games, I can speak. I don't know. I'll put with the chat box, but I'll say this much because we've been on like a 9 or 8 month hiatus, depending on, when your NFL team lost and, you can only have so much preseason football with who's going to be cut and everything. You're just dying to watch your team. And we're okay playing Florida A&M or Bethune-Cookman or whatever, because we finally get to see if the Canes are going to live up to the hype, at least talking as us, but what I'm getting at, but the meaningless bowl games, I mean, the only thing that you're hoping for is that do you have anybody on the bench that might be ready to look like they can step up for next year? I mean, but with all these opt-outs, and then here's the other thing, Larry, I don't know if you heard me at the beginning. My question that I posed was the fact that, what about these guys that are going to be transferring, but if they win, they have a decision to make and they only have until the 12th. And those games are the 8th and the 9th, unless they already have a destination that they want to go to. Would you really leave with a chance to win a ring, even if you're not happy at your school? Honestly, at this point.
I tell you what, that might be something that Jeremiah Smith may be teaching all of us, depending on what happens Wednesday night, because I know Jeremiah Smith, he's got a ring with Ohio State. And but I just, listen, I'm going to take it back to his recruitment. As we said this morning, he was in the 11th hour making his decision. NIL and everything really swayed him to Ohio State, along with where Ohio State is currently. But if Miami knocks off Ohio State Wednesday night, Jeremiah Smith, you could potentially be looking at, I mean, like I said, I know I'm probably playing devil's advocate here, but I don't see a possibility where it's impossible, rather, that Jeremiah Smith wouldn't entertain offers from Miami if Miami can knock off Ohio State and maybe, let's say they get to the national championship game. Let's say they get a Sam Levitt from Arizona State, or they get, I can't think of his name, my guy from Cincinnati, the quarterback.
Yeah.
let's say you get all of that. And let's say, you already know Malachi Tony's going to do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And CJ Daniels is out of there and a couple of those other receivers out of there, but you got a lot of those young guns. And let's just say the money's there and there's an offer on the table.
Yeah.
That would be crazy, but that's not out of the realm of possibility. Now, do I think it happens? No. But never say never, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, like I highlighted at the beginning, is Texas lost all these running backs. Jarrett Gibson, C.J. Baxter, they're all leaving. And because I don't know if Texas already has Jaden Baugh in the bag or not, because they just hired Florida's old running backs coach, but that doesn't mean nothing. There could be somebody that could really Alabama could throw some money to Jaden Baugh if they think that he could make their running game better. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. I mean, I'm just saying that there's no loyalty anymore. And the only reason I brought up Jarrett Gibson and CJ Baxter, once upon a time, Mario was all in on those guys. And instead, we went with Jordan Lyle and Mark Fletcher. And it's worked out at least with one of the two guys so far. I don't know what's going to happen with Jordan Lyle if he wants to stay or move on. That's his choice. But for the most part, the running backs have panned out for Miami that we've gone after. And, Reuben Owens was another guy that he wanted. He wanted a big bruising back, and you saw what you needed to see from Reuben Owens when he played for A&M a couple weeks ago, honestly. And by the way, the chat box says the bowl games or what have you, for the most part, they agree with you, Larry. Brandon did say that he is a college football fan. He'll watch almost any game. He loved the Clemson-Penn State game. I loved the Clemson-Penn State game just to watch Dabo have another meltdown. That was the best part of that. The Houston-LSU game was entertaining. I missed the end of it. I'm sorry I missed the end of it. I'm going to watch the Music City Bowl. Obviously, I'm a Tennessee alum. I'm definitely going to watch my Vols play against Illinois, and I think they should win that game. So, Shane says, I'm a huge fan of the NIL, but there needs to be more of a contract when it comes to the players and how they're paid. Facts. I've had conversations too, Larry, where I've even said to people that there has to be something where if you're signed with a team, you at least have to stay the 2 years before you move on or something like that. You just can't keep trading teams one and one, but whatever.
Stallion, I think we get to that. I think we're headed in that direction because, as you see, they eliminated that second transfer portal window, and I love that they did that because you look at the 8 teams that's left. You're gonna have now. I'm gonna use Miami for example because this is a school I know who's so far. You got Ray Joseph and Nye Carr, 2 receivers that really weren't used. They've announced they're in the portal. Just like you said, we don't know what Jordan Lyle's gonna do. But if you still had that second window, then pretty much it's still an open door for a mass exodus of players. Now, had Miami not made the playoffs, had they got knocked off by A&M. You may see more guys that have announced that they're going to enter the portal. But especially if they can make this run, you got a lot of guys that's undecided, and a lot of guys are not going to make that portal deadline, and they're going to stay. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you had that second portal window, make the championship or not, you're still going to have a wide variety of guys jump in. I think they're moving in the right direction by knocking down that portal window to one actual portal. And I think as far as regulating NIL, that's coming. That's coming because it's too insane for some teams. Now, as a Miami guy, I don't have no problems with it because we're benefiting from it. But, NIL, let's just call it what it is. NIL is what retired Nick Saban. Yeah. And I really believe if the SEC, because listen, just like Coach, like Shane O'Mac loves the SEC, I'm the exact opposite. I hate the SEC.
Mm-hmm. and you grew up in SEC country, in Louisiana. I mean,
born and raised in SEC country, and in one of the most southernmost parts of it. And I hate the SEC, but I'll say this: as long as the SEC is getting beat and not winning national championships, they're getting exposed in the bowl games. I think the SEC is like 2-4 in bowl games right now.
Yeah,
Miami's already knocked off A&M, so that's another SEC school gone. If they can get through Ohio, or whoever wins the Miami-Ohio State game, if they knock off whoever wins that Ole Miss Georgia game, that's another SEC school gone. And if Alabama doesn't make it, then clearly NIL will have killed the SEC. And I think before college football lets the SEC rather be mortal, they will definitely impose that regulation, and you're going to see it a lot quicker than it would be. Now, if the SEC was still winning, I don't think you'd see it, but there's definitely an SEC bias, and you're going to see it. You're going to see it pan out.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There is. So well, and let me just tell you this one real quick. This was something interesting right here that I actually kind of looked at. Michael Lynn said, "I love any football, laugh out loud, but I also like to throw some money at it. So I like to know what I'm betting on." And you don't even know. I mean, he said it best. There was a running back that showed up that was supposed to play for East Carolina, and he just took his ball and went home for Christmas. Didn't even show up in that game. What's up, Merritt? How you doing? Merritt agrees with you. Bowl games, too many opt-outs. Early games, definitely. Let me see what's ahead. So, I mean, that's what it is. And Rocky said preach. So, yep.
Well, Sam Levitt, prime example. Sam Levitt in the team meeting after the regular season finale. I mean, he told them, I'm out. He announced that he's out. And right now there's a Sam Levitt sweepstakes going on. Where is he going to go? Early indications is going to be a dogfight between, obviously, for me, Miami and LSU. But, Lane is leading on that Trinidad might be going to LSU. And LSU, speaking of them, Caden Durham, their starting running back, he hit the portal. He announced he's going to enter the transfer portal. But what does that tell me? That tells me Kejuan Lacey is leaving Ole Miss and going to Baton Rouge. So there's a whole lot of stuff that's about to happen. But once again, we got to wait until teams get eliminated to really see who's going to do what, who's going to go where. I just, it's going to be real interesting. I'm just going to leave it at that. When Ole Miss gets knocked off, that's where you're going to see that mass exodus of players. You're going to see a lot of them going to Baton Rouge. And the ones that don't go to Baton Rouge, are they going to stay in Oxford because they love Lane? Now, if they don't go and they can't get to Baton Rouge, they're not staying in Oxford. They're going to go elsewhere. So it's going to be real interesting.
Yeah, and even Shane said it's even playing it's an even playing field now. It's about who can get the best players out of the portal. It's facts. And then Brandon even writes, "I'm from Arkansas, and I'm not an SEC fan. Now I like some SEC teams, but I hate the narrative of the SEC being so good that a mid-tier SEC team can beat the best teams in the Big 12 and ACC. Bullshit." Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. So especially Brandon, can I say this? If you're just looking at the name and then the same players that were there during the year aren't there for said matchup, you know what I mean? Now the ACC, I was really disappointed with them yesterday. I mean, Pitt losing, but yet I found out that nobody played for Pitt. Everybody either opted out, so that wasn't the same Pitt team that they've been used to. And then I look at Narduzzi's record in bowl games, and it's like, realistically, that may have mattered 10, 15 years ago, but now can a bowl game record really be held against you unless you're not winning the big ones? I mean, because if you don't have the full roster you thought you had, I mean, the payout's still the same shit. It really is for every team. You just got to show up with at least 22 players that can play the positions. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter if it's a good game or not. So, yeah. Let me ask you this, Larry. Well, I got you on here, and I don't know how much longer I got you on, and I love having you
I got a little while.
Good. Well, this is what I posed, okay? So, we got these quarterfinals. At least we're done with this bullshit, a lot of these shitty games and so forth. But my question to you is, will the favorites win a game this year? Because if you remember last year, not one of them did. Some people argued that the layoff may have been too long. Now, granted, you had a lot of blue bloods that were in lower seeds that may have been misseeded, and there was even talk about maybe you should reseed the teams once you get to this point. However, that being said, you got the matchups you got last year, and all the favorites lost. Do you think that could be the case again come this year, Larry Frank?
Well, I think the favorites, you're going to go 2-4 at best. Let me see. Indiana, Alabama. I mean, listen, Indiana's the favorite, but like I said, Alabama is still Alabama. They look like they found themselves. They look like they got their confidence. They're playing like the Alabama that, became who they were after they lost to Florida State. And if they, go into that game keeping up the same intensity, they knock off that favorite of Indiana. So I think Alabama is going to be one of the ones that defies, the logic here. I think Oregon is going. Wait, hold up. Who's favorite? Texas Tech is favored in that game,
I
correct?
think they are favored. Yes, they are favored. Yes. So
All
the
right.
biggest
So
line is
that
Miami,
game.
Ohio State. The biggest line is Miami, Ohio State, from what I understand.
All right.
Go
All
ahead.
right. So in that Texas Tech Oregon game, my heart tells me Texas Tech should win, but I feel like Oregon is going to win because, and I know people are saying Oregon really wasn't challenged most of the year, and the one game they were challenged, they lost. But this is playoff football, and I just think Oregon, they're more battle tested at this time of year than what Texas Tech is. And I think Oregon will also, hold Texas Tech down. So that's another favorite that doesn't win. Now, on the opposite side.
Oh, by the way, real quick, just to let you know, seed-wise, Texas Tech is higher. Sorry, I'm wrong. And like I said, I like to point out when I'm wrong. Seed-wise, Texas Tech is higher. However, Oregon is favored by 2 points right now. It's been jumping back and forth between 1.5 to 2.5 on that game. But keep going.
All right. So with that being said, then Oregon is a favorite. I got them winning. So we're 1-1. On our side of the bracket, you got Ole Miss and Georgia, which I believe Georgia should be the favorite. I got them winning. So those are my two. And obviously, Ohio State, Miami. Damn, man, I'm trying to not be a fan here and a homer here, but my head tells me that Ohio State has everything where they could win and probably should win. But my heart, being a Canes fan and just, looking at it and looking at Miami, knowing more about Miami than most people that don't watch Miami, the defensive line, the trenches, the offense, everything tells me that Miami can stand toe-to-toe with them. So let's put it to you like this. If Miami knocks off Ohio State, which I really think they can, and I pretty much hope they will, we won't be surprised because we're looking for it. The rest of the country will. So, like I said, I mean, on paper, Ohio State should win it. Here's the thing. If you look at that matchup, Miami has the edge, I think, in the trenches as far as the defensive line versus Ohio State's banged up, not so good offensive line. That's an advantage, Miami. Ohio State has an advantage in the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
After that, you're even down the middle with everything else. Ohio State's D-line is very physical, and I think they match up well with our O-line, And also, my bad, Carson Beck has the advantage as a quarterback over Julian Saying. So other than those three factors, right. Other than those three factors, to me, it's even. As far as coaching, I know Ryan Day won a national championship last year, but Mario has a head-to-head win over him when he was at Oregon. And he had less at Oregon than what he has now at Miami. And Ryan Day had more at Ohio State at that time than what he has right now. He had C.J. Stroud, if I'm not mistaken, back then. So,
he did.
So even the coaching, I think, is even down the playing field. So we'll see. But I think you're going to go 2 for 4, probably 3 for 4, but more than likely 2 for 4. So you'll have a couple of favorites win.
Yeah, I was looking at it. Indiana's actually a 7-point favorite. And I looked at it. Georgia's a 6.5-point favorite over Ole Miss right now, and still the line is about 9.5, 10 for Ohio State over Miami. So I want to get him on.
Let the dogs out, man. Dogs. Take the dogs. Take all the dogs.
I'm telling you. So and look, he might be on just for a couple minutes to join us because I know he's got a big invested interest in a big NFL game tonight. But I want to get him on while I have him. Let's bring him on. The one, the only, Rocky in the building, baby. How you doing, man?
I'm pulling double duty right now.
What's up? And I'm going to say this. Let me say this before Rocky gets going because I know what Rocky's going to say. God damn it, Rocky. Didn't I tell you Mike Tomlin was going to shit the bed? He did exactly what I said he would do.
I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to go there, man. God dang, man. I couldn't even – I knew as soon as I came on, I said, man, I know if I'm going to come on here, he's going to talk about Mike Tomlin and the Steelers and, man, run Mike Tomlin into the dirt, man. I couldn't even get a word out. God knows.
You know me well.
I'm pulling double duty tonight, LFJ. I'm yelling at the TV on one end and I'm listening to what you guys are talking about on the other end. Stallion, I think you're right, man. I think I think here's what I think. Here's what I think with my end. I think we got a better shot than the whole nation thinks we do. Okay. All the pundits and all the previews and all the mishmash online and this and that and the other don't think we stand a chance. They really don't. I mean, we're gonna get beat by 17. There was a somebody quoting a score, or OSU fan quoting a score 41-17. I don't know what he's smoking. That ain't gonna happen. But I will not be as surprised, even not being a Kane fan, just an unbiased opinion, just because of what I see on the offensive and defensive lines. We do not take a back seat to anybody in the trenches. And if you don't take a back seat to anybody in the trenches, just like Mike Elko said last week, when you lose in the trenches, you're not going to win these playoff games, or you're going to have a hard time winning. If you don't take a back seat in the trenches, you got a chance. You got a chance.
Can I throw something out to both?
Execution.
Can I throw something out to both you guys? In the chat box is hopping right now. So, but I just have a question right now. When you look at the matchups between Miami and Ohio State, you have two ginormous lines on both sides of it. And there's some guys trying to play themselves into the first round, like an Akeem Messador. There's going to be 1,000 scouts in that building. There's going to be a lot of eyes watching that game on New Year's Eve somewhere, And my question is, there's going to be some guys that are going to show out because they know that when it comes to when the lights are on in a big time game like this, some NFL teams are going to take notice on that. Great what you run at the combine or how many times you can throw up 225. When it's time to whip some ass, when the lights are on, when some stakes couldn't be bigger, this is when you're counted on. Am I wrong with that?
Right? No, you're not. And one thing I'm going to go first, Larry Frank. And one thing you know about Mario's going to have his guys ready to play when it comes to big games. I mean, his track record is they come in ready to go. When the lights are on and everybody's watching, his teams are ready to play. That's one thing that we've seen. It's the games where when we're favored by 30 is the ones that we're worried about because they come in with too much bravado. And that's what we've seen with Mario.
Yeah, so Brandon Brock said his only worry is the play calling in secondary. Everything else I'm confident in. Yeah, especially on the offensive side of the ball, because I hope Dawson doesn't try to be cute. Why don't you just go toe-to-toe with him and see if it works? Like run Fletcher. Let me just tell you this, guys. Once upon a time, Chatbox, if you're not familiar with Mark Fletcher, he was committed to Ohio State. It was the day before signing day. He took a chance with the hometown school. Otherwise, he'd probably be killing it being their starting running back right now as the heir apparent to the guys they lost last year. Honestly. Yeah. I mean, we've thrusted him in there and so forth, and he's healthy. He looked healthy for the first time in a couple of weeks or what have you, and you saw how he looked against A&M.
I said it this morning. It looked like Mark Fletcher against A&M hit another gear. I don't know what it was, but it looked like he hit another gear against A&M. He looked like a different player. He was running with purpose. And I'm not to say that he hasn't been a good running back, but I haven't seen him quite run like he did against A&M the way he did that game. And hopefully he can follow that up with another good performance and bring that versus Ohio State. We're going to need it. We're going to need it.
Shane McGee says he feels like the push is for Miami to win based on all the stories that were done by ESPN today. Michael Lynn also says if they can't get the ball to a wide receiver, isn't that an advantage? So, yeah, you're right. You're right, Michael. I mean, if Sands on his back or whatever, and, I heard that Ohio State guy today on U-Talk that was debating you, Rocky, and he was talking about, well, this guy was out for us, but the offensive line, the offensive line's been kind of suspect for Ohio State all year, and, can Carnell Tate carve us up? Sure. Okay, but here's the other thing, too. We're a bend, don't break. As long as we don't allow a big play, we can hold them to field goals and still win this game. I mean, honestly, as long as we don't allow big touchdowns or big plays, that's where it's going to be. And also, I'm going to be very curious to see if Sayan panics, if the moment is too big for him. He is a redshirt freshman after all. And realistically, you talk about somebody with something to prove, Carson Beck, I mean, it's right there for him. If anybody needs to redeem themselves from last game, it's that young man, honestly. So, yeah.
Carson Beck has been in these situations, even if he hadn't started. He's watched it. He's been on the bench with Georgia. He knows how it needs to be done. He's seen it. He's got the motivation, I think, to go out there and prove the naysayers wrong. He's been disrespected. They've been talking about Carson Beck with those 4 interceptions now since the Louisville game. That was in October. Carson Beck, since those 4 interceptions, like the one he had against SMU, I mean, it was a bad throw, don't get me wrong, but we should have never been in overtime to begin with in that game. Carson Beck, for the most part, has played clean since those 4 interceptions. And I think you're going to see a lot of disrespect get addressed in that game. Carson Beck is going to address the disrespect that he's been getting. I think, obviously, Mario, the whole team is going to address the disrespect that he's been getting. And it's like this, to Rocky's point earlier, I'd be worried if we were playing a team and we were favored big. And I'd be worried if we were playing an ACC game. These games, big games, and that's what the country doesn't know. That's what the pundits and the naysayers are not looking at. Yeah, they're writing us off, but they just don't seem to remember that Miami, if their back's against the wall against stiff competition, Miami is not that team you want to see. They've proven it all this season. How many of them said Notre Dame was going to beat us in the season opener? How many of them said that Florida State was going to come off that loss to Virginia and beat us? How many of them said that Texas A&M was going to beat us? How many, including us, now I ain't going to lie, Pitt was going to beat us?
Hell, you can add USF to that.
South Florida was in the mix. And even a nice percentage thought Florida was going to shake back and beat us after they lost to LSU in South Florida when they came to play us. So when it comes to big games, and I can go back further just in the Mario era, I can go back to last year, the season opener against Florida. I can go back to the year before that when we played A&M at the Rock. So all of these big games,
Clemson too, because that Clemson team was still pretty decent. I mean, Clemson was supposed to blow us out after the Georgia Tech and North Carolina debacle, and Miami found a way to win in double overtime with Emory Williams of all people. We didn't even have Van Dyke.
Yes. And this is why I say this, fellas. Miami just went into College Station, which I don't know, Rocky, I don't know if you've ever passed through there. I know you're closer than what Stallion is, but I've been to College Station a few times. Little bitty town is really nothing to look at. It's a college town like most of your SEC schools. But you go into a little college town in a stadium with 110,000 and you outlast the fan base, the elements, the intimidation, and the disrespect. You really think I'm going to really be worried about a neutral site game 2.5 hours north where Miami travels well, the fan base travels well? Yeah, Ohio State's going to travel well, but please believe me, Jerry's World is not going to be 80-20 Ohio State. There's going to be a lot of green and orange in that building. So agreed. I like our chances. Like I said this morning, Shannon Dawson does not have to call a perfect game, just call the right game. Ground and pound, play action, we'll be good.
I've got something for you guys real quick, too, that I also wanted to bring up. The fact is also that when it comes to Miami in these playoffs, I can only think that if they played, I'd say maybe Texas Tech, if both teams got there in the final game, I would see Miami be favored because Miami would technically be the home team. But I think Miami from here on out would probably be the underdog to Ole Miss, Georgia. They already are to Ohio State, but if they get by this one, they'll be an underdog to Georgia and Ole Miss. They'll definitely be an underdog to Oregon, Alabama, or Indiana if they're there in the championship game, despite being the home game. That's great for Miami.
We'd be an underdog to any SEC team we see.
That's right.
Correct.
We're an underdog, no matter who it is.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I think is in Miami's favor. Now, here's the other thing, too. I'm not saying 41-17, Rocky, but if Ohio State flexes their muscle and beats Miami to the tune of what they beat Tennessee last year, because, I got what the fan was saying this morning that was debating you, that was an Ohio State guy. He's saying that, you don't think we have nothing to play for? All we've heard about is the Indiana shit for a month, and we're going to be ready to go. But here's the truth of it, though. Realistically, yes, they should have won that game against Indiana. Maybe they should have won against Michigan, but this isn't Oregon you're playing in the Rose Bowl. This isn't Tennessee that you're playing. The Tennessee's defense was suspect a little bit last year, especially towards the end. And Tennessee's offense was a little bit last year with Nico. The thing is, Miami's offense hasn't been consistent, but I think that Miami's a little bit better up front on both sides of the ball than Tennessee was last year. And I don't think Ohio State is as good this year along both those lines and talented as they were last year, because Ohio State's run game was phenomenal last year. They had 2 guys drafted, and people forget that.
Jenkins and the other guy.
Yeah. And this Bo Jackson kid, he's a nice kid. He's a freshman, but that's just what shows you they had to jump to him, because all the other classmen that they had have not been able to run the rock. And then also Ryan Day calling the plays because they don't feel they don't want the distraction, and they don't trust Hardline. I mean, that's got to have caused something right there too.
You got a lot of riff. You got a lot of riff if you ask me about that. There's a lot of riffs with that, and I think that's going to cause a lot of problems that a lot of people, I think Ohio State within the confines of their sector, they know it. I don't think they think we know it, but listen, you got a redshirt freshman at quarterback. You got a freshman you're relying on as a wide receiver. You still got a predominantly young guy in Jeremiah Smith. He's good and all that, but he's still young. You got a lot of young guys that you got to rely on. And now you're flipping the script to getting Ryan Day to calling plays. And I mean, you still got freshmen you're dealing with. You got an inexperienced offensive line to go with all of that. Yeah, and then on top of that, the body of work all season, you have not really scored and dominated anybody good. Anybody good with a physical defensive line you've had trouble with. Texas showed it to you. Let me tell you something. If they'd have caught Texas at the end of the season when Arch Manning caught steam, Texas beats them. Arch Manning is the reason they didn't win that season opening game, because if Arch Manning would have played better, they would have had 2 losses on their resume with the Indiana loss. Right. And obviously the Indiana loss, it really exposed them. So listen up, I'm going to say this. I got people telling me how good Ryan Day was as a play caller and that Miami's going to have trouble. Well,
I thought they hated him. That's why they brought in Chip Kelly. And Michael Lynn says they don't have Chip Kelly this year either. So
twice after he lost to Michigan twice, 2 years ago.
They hated him.
Yeah, exactly. He couldn't call a game good enough to beat Michigan. So if he takes over the play calling duties, and like I said, Hartline's leaving, and I'm sticking to this narrative right here. When you have a coach or you have a staff or staff members, pluralize, however you want to call it, that's leaving to go somewhere else, there's a lack of focus somewhere, and that's where you take advantage of that. So when it's all said and done, Ohio State and a lot of people feel like Miami's going to get blown out. That 10-point line, I think, is really a bad move because it's setting a lot of people up. Miami, and what I love again, Miami, I have not heard or seen one Miami quote about anybody on Ohio State. I love it. I love it.
And here's the other thing, too. Texas. Michael Lynn agrees with you, by the way, Larry. He said Texas beats them by 2 touchdowns if that game was played later in the year.
I agree. I agree. I agree with that. Look, they padded their stats along the way during the year, as LFJ alluded to a bunch of teams that really didn't deserve to be on the field with them. Rutgers, Minnesota, Iowa State. All these teams that are in the Big Ten that are bottom feeders, basically.
Rocky, their 2 toughest games in the Big Ten this year were Illinois and Penn State. They didn't even have to play. I mean, you could say Michigan at the end, but like I said, was that even really a true Michigan team? You had a coach that was adjusting his pants at halftime, watching OnlyFans instead of caring about whether he wins Ohio State or not.
Yeah, they played that game. They played that game in an Arctic monsoon. But look, here's the deal. They've got, again, like LFJ alluded to, they've got a lot of skilled players that are their talent, that are young. They've got a first-time starter at quarterback, and I'm going to keep beating this drum. They've never seen a defensive line like they're getting ready to see. Yes, Texas was tough. Yes, Indiana got after him. But to me, to my eye, we're going to be a whole nother animal for them. And to me, that's going to be the difference in the game. Get us being able to get after Julian saying, making him get happy feet in the pocket. He's not necessarily a runner. Now, he can buy time, he can move a little bit, but he's not necessarily a mobile quarterback, as mobile as what Marcel Reed was last week. We went into College Station, 105,000 screaming fans, and took care of business in a tough environment with 90-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And look, I don't see it. I don't see what I'm hearing for this build up to this game. My eyes are telling me something else. Well,
the other thing too, and Larry, chat box, Rocky, back me up on this. the physicality of Miami was the difference against A&M. Yes, the wind affected both teams, but realistically, it wasn't any Miami guys limping out of that game. It was A&M that was like, we don't want none of this. And
No question.
and I want to see, if Jeremiah Smith gets popped real good or Carnell Tate, do they start kind of being like what happened last week with Concepcion? Concepcion was like, I don't want to be out there in punt return. And then you had Owens and the other guy walking out.
And like I said this morning, Stallion, on Utah, if you don't think, and yeah, you haven't heard a word coming out of Coral Gables, but quietly, if you don't think those South Florida kids are ready to get after it versus the guy that abandoned them that went to Ohio State, if you don't think that's going on right now in the inner circle, you're crazy. Who's going to guard Jeremiah Smith? Xavier Lucas, OJ Federic, Damari Brown's trying to get back, so he can play in this game. I'm just, again, I don't see. We have to execute. We can't make mistakes. Obviously, we can't turn the ball over. That's football 101. Dawson has to call his game. I said that this morning. He has to call. Doesn't have to call the perfect game. He has to call his game and trust what he's got that he's had all year. And look, I think we're good. I mean, I think we're a 10-part underdog. No way.
I'm going to say this. We played in a dome last year with inferior receivers. I mean, listen, I love Xavier Restrepo like the next person, but come on, Malachi Tony is already an upgrade over him at this point, at that position. Yeah. Okay. I trust CJ, and despite all the problems with JoJo, he seems like he's all in now. I listen, Trader might even outplay his old counterpart over there at Chaminade.
You just hit the nail on the head. You read my mind, because that was my next point. That pass in the win last week to JoJo and the way they've been kind of going to him more and more tells me one thing.
They like that.
JoJo is gonna have his coming out party this week, because they're probably gonna prepare and key in on Tony. I think any coach with a brain knows that you have to prepare for Malachi Tony. Well, if you do that, you got an Ohio State secondary that ain't that good. Now, I know Caleb Downs. I'm going to give him his due. He's good. But those corners, what's up, Chris? What's happening? Those corners, JoJo is going to smoke them corners, plain and simple. And if you have Carson, and they dial that same play that Carson threw that JoJo had that would have been a house call, but the wind took the ball away from him, do it in Jerry's world. It's over. It's over.
Yep. And the dome, I mean, the speed on the dome could be not that Ohio State's not slow by any means. They had to recruit at the level they're recruiting at because they were tired of getting blown out by the teams in the SEC. And like everybody has said in this chat, the NIL has made that a little bit more fair. But there's a lot of athletes and speed at Miami. And honestly, like you said, Rocky, that defensive line. Go ahead, Larry. Yeah.
And real quick, Stallion, I'm not an SEC guy, but per these SEC standards, Miami is a de facto SEC team the way that they're built. That them trenches, the size, that's SEC size. That's why Miami is so damn dominant. They're doing it the way the SEC does it. So I'm not mad at Mario. I gave him a lot of shit. Yes, I have.
Me too.
But guess what? He's been righting those wrongs. And I love what he's doing. I love where this team is going. And the beauty is you're getting an SEC type of identity with the just trench domination on both sides, but you still got that finesse on the outside with the skill players. Look at how Fletcher's running the ball. Look when Pringle gets in, how he started letting you know who he was. Mm-hmm. That's SEC style. That's an SEC type of attack. So if Mario, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to land my plane. I'm going to say it like this. If Mario continues building this Miami team in the image of what these SEC teams that have been winning all these years is, ain't nobody fucking with Miami in the ACC, period. And on a national level, you're not fucking with them.
Well, and like I said, you got two commits. You got two commits that are coming potentially. One's the number one offensive player on the verge of you just signed the number one offensive lineman who's already practicing, Jackson Cantwell, who looks like he's going to be the guy that slides right into Malinois's place when Malinois takes the money. But you also got another big defensive lineman that's noticing, and he's wanting to maybe join the party too. So if you're building it in like he learned from Saban, it's a wrap. The skill players will always be there. Where we were not winning like we did back in the early 2000s was up front. I mean, we didn't have the Jerome McDougals or the Will Forks or the William Josephs or those type players for a while now, you know? I mean, we had maybe a nice story like a Rousseau or a Jalen Phillips, but we didn't have somebody that was really, really just dogs after it. You know,
he's building it, Stallion LFJ. He's building it inside out, and he's building it inside out with layers. He's layering inside out.
Chris Kane said it best right now. I have to admit, every year that Mario's been there, we've gotten better. Yes, we have technically gotten better at all fronts.
And we are, and as strange as this is to say, right now where we are in this certain circumstances, we're not facing Mario's. I was talking about earlier. We're not facing Mario's problems right now. Mario's problems is getting the team focused or keeping the team focused for the games that we should win.
Yeah,
that's next season when we get back to our schedule. That's not right now.
Right.
With 9 ACC games
right now is actually Mario's strength. Right now is getting ready for these big games.
Yeah. And look, you want real quick, Stallion. Real quick. You know how good it is right now for these trenches. I can remember just 10 years ago. You remember when those damn photo shoot pics came out when those linemen were hugging each other and we were getting laughed at?
Oh my God!
My, how far we've come! You remember that one picture with the two offensive linemen and one guy?
Yeah, they were doing the Titanic thing. They were doing Rose and Jack, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I mean, you know, we were the laughing stock, man. I mean, that was buffoonery right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But it's like I said, Larry, it's like I said, though, when we were a team that was like wondering what the moon phase was, what the weather was going to be like. What happened to the days when we played 60 minutes of football? Didn't matter where or when, we wanted to whip your ass for 60 minutes, you know? Hi, I'm such and such. I'm going to be you're going to be my bitch for the next 60 minutes. That's what it used to be. Not about all this. I mean,
and we're getting back to that, Stallion, and you touched on this earlier in the show, and I want to get both y'all opinions on this. I want to know how y'all feel about this. Do y'all understand and realize that right now, after all of the crap that us and the rest of the fan base has been given the conference, the Miami Hurricanes right now are the flag bearers for the ACC. Do you guys understand that right now? Have y'all fathom that at the moment?
Oh yes, yep.
And I'm loving it. And not only that, real quick, keep in mind, did y'all see where Miami? I think it was a court order or something like that, where they get to keep all of the money.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. They should.
Yeah.
They should.
All of the money that they would have had to split with the ACC for the playoff with the postseason run. Every game that they get, if they win the national championship, they potentially will get all $32 million.
I'll be damned.
There you go. Thank you, Dr. James J. Phillips. Thank you, you buffoon. So I got Brandon waiting backstage patiently, so I got to bring him on for 5 minutes of his piece. So, Brandon, without further ado, welcome to Stallion Speaks. Thank you for waiting, brother. Welcome to the show. Brandon, you got your piece, brother.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's happening, Larry Frank?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's good?
Man, it's good to be a King. Once again, it's good to be a King.
Right,
man.
Yes, sir.
I was moving around earlier, so that's why I didn't call in earlier. I wasn't sure how my connection.
You're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you for bringing me in kind of late. I know y'all getting ready to shut it down and everything, but man, you know, I just want to say that, you know, I'm looking forward to this game against Ohio State. I'll be honest and say, even as a Miami fan, I didn't want to see us in the playoffs till I felt like, okay, I'm sure we can make a run.
I remember you saying that. Saying that. You go.
I remember that.
But now that we're there and we took care of business against Texas A&M, which I was confident we could do that. I was like, I know we could beat Texas A&M. We did it. Now I'm like, fuck it, let's ride until the wheels fall off. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If this is some kind of Cinderella season, as I mentioned too earlier, Stallion. Like if we get in there, I'm gonna kind of feel like this destiny here. You know what I mean? Because, maybe something may be meant to be for Miami. But now too, though, as I've been looking at things, looking at film, and breaking some things down, Miami can beat Ohio State. The only thing that has me worried is our secondary can be a little vulnerable, but the main thing is just play calling, because there was some plays where I feel like we could have hung about 37 on Texas A&M, but it was the play calling that was head scratching.
Yeah.
It's like with Mark Fletcher is running this team over like this, and we're in the red zone. What are we doing with this kind of little halfback toss pass we doing with Malachi Tony?
Right.
Shit? Like what are you doing this for?
Frustrating.
Give that man Mark Fletcher the ball and score a damn touchdown.
Fletcher was ripping it, Brandon. He was ripping it.
Exactly. I was like, what are you doing here, bro? Like, why are you doing this? And so
hey, Brandon, let me stop you real quick. You still got all your time, but let me just tell you this. What about the opportunity he's got to go against the team that he was committed to? Don't you think he wants to be even more fiercer coming up? I mean, that's going to be awesome. Go ahead, brother. So,
I think definitely we ahead right there. I don't think their offensive line can handle our defensive front. It's going to be that's going to be hell for them. And then I think that our defensive front is going to handle too their offensive line. So you're 100% right on that. Mark Fletcher should again have another field day. I ain't putting no kind of pressure on these guys about what happened in 2002 because that's just for fans shit. As far as them players, none of those players on either side, or at least, these young guys that's just coming in and stuff like Jeremiah Smith and them and Reuben Bain and all them, either they wasn't born or they definitely have no memory of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't putting that kind
wait, hold up. Now I agree with you there. And Stallion, pause this time. I just want to get this point in real quick.
Yep, he's good. Yep.
All right. I agree with you, Mr. Brock, right there. But it's kind of, I don't know if you saw when I said the same thing to Melvin Bratton on U-Talk a couple of weeks ago. And Melvin Bratton basically said, nah, the hell with that. I ain't going to say what Big Brother said. He said the hell with it. He said it another way. He said, you don't come to Miami. You come to Miami, you know what you're coming here for. So me and him talked offline about that. And I was still not with it, but he kind of broke it down why. And I'm going to kind of give it to you how he broke it down to me. And yes, you're right. It's not on these players. It's not their responsibility because they weren't born then. But like Mr. B told me offline when we talked, they grew up knowing what happened. Like they heard the stories, they seen the 30 for 30s, they seen what happened on YouTube, and with all their families being from down there in the crib, they know it's a responsibility to the I hate to say it like that, but for the ancestors, for the forefathers, this is your opportunity, to do that. So when he broke it down to me like that, I said, okay, and he agreed that, yeah, it's not on them to have to bear the responsibility of what happened before their time, but it is on them to go ahead and right that wrong and get that payback for the whole fan base, because this is why you came to Miami. You came to Miami for these big moments. And listen, we've been seeing it. The first thing they started showing was that damn Chris Gamble, Kelly Jennings clip. And I just have nightmares of bad call. I have nightmares. I literally am triggered and PTSD as a Canes fan by that shit. So,
and Larry, real quick, and I still got Brandon still has 3 minutes, but and actually, it's two different plays that they've been crying about, and that's why I brought up the Sean Taylor interception in the end zone where Claret had the ball in his hand too. The tie goes to the offense because at that point, Claret was
overtime.
And we don't even play overtime, and they don't get that cheap field goal. But they talk about us holding Kelly Jennings. Well, that's fine, but it was Glenn Sharp that made no contact on that bad call by Porter. Honestly, real
quick, and I'm gonna give it back. They only bring up that play that wasn't called. Some idiot for Ohio State found that and decided to use that to offset, the fact that we got fucked over.
Yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that shit.
People. One more thing. People ask about what was the key play in that game that came up in one of the other places this week, and they were talking about the Maurice Clara touchdown. They were talking about obviously the game, the play at the end of the game. I said no. When Willis McGahee got his kneecap taken out by Ohio State player, it had to come out of the game, and they put in Jarrett Payton. Because the
and then the son of a bitch does the throat slash gesture right above him, standing above him. That should have been a 15-yard penalty. And, I'll tell you this, rewatching the U Part 2, because they've been playing that a lot this week, is the fact is that, a lot of the guys said, how do we even continue wanting to play knowing our brother got his knee shellacked like that? I remember Vince Wilfork saying he heard the snap from the sideline or whatever like that when he was interviewed. And it was like, and then what about Coker's buffoonery? You don't want to burn Frank Gore's red shirt when Frank Gore was actually Maurice Claret leading up to those games. He could get you that one fucking yard. I don't care if he was coming off a minor tear. Frank Gore would have done great because Frank Gore was looking great in practice.
I love, listen, Walter Payton was the first football player. I damn near became a Chicago Bears fan. I almost was there with Rocky because as a kid, the first Super Bowl I watched was the Patriots, and the Bears, when the Bears beat them 46-10 down here in New Orleans. And the Super Bowl shuffle and the refrigerator and all of them. I got a special place in my heart for Walter Payton. That was the first big name guy that I knew. And I especially loved Jared Payton being his son because, Walter had passed, some years, I think, prior. But at the end of the day, all love for sweetness aside, it should have been Frank Gore, not Jared Payton.
It should have been. But Brandon, you still got 3 minutes, brother. Go ahead. You still got your time. I'm sorry. We just had to intervene there. So.
Yeah, my bad, bro.
I'm feeling excited because I'm kind of like, again, we're all too young to remember, but doing our history and, looking at research and hearing stories and things like that, this kind of can seem like this is, again, like the start of Miami establishing themselves, just like in 1983. In that championship game against Nebraska, everybody thought Miami was finna get ran out of that stadium. They felt like Miami's not even supposed to be in this game. Like it wasn't going to happen. They're not going to beat Nebraska, and Miami beat Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. And people talked about that team being the best team of all time at that time too.
Well, and there was a lot of disrespect. I forgot who the guy was. I forgot who he was. He was a former player, but he turned into a college football analyst after he retired. He was disrespecting Miami really bad. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. He was disrespecting.
Was it Turner Gill? Was it Turner Gill, the quarterback, or what? So
I can't remember who it was. I can see his face, but I forget what his name was.
One of the things, Brandon, that came up last week. It was actually over the weekend. Came from Lamar Thomas, and he mentioned that exact point that you just made, and he said it's funny how history repeats itself. Because here we are again against this so-called juggernaut, and nobody's giving us a chance, at the Cotton Bowl. And it's the same position that we were in when we had Nebraska back in '83.
Yeah, and it's also the role reversal of it's the role reversal of the last time. They were the 14-point dog. We're the 10-point dog. Nobody's giving us a chance or whatever. Nobody gave them a chance, and we fucked off just enough, and it played into their hands. Because like I said, we were in control of that game until the 2 Dorsey interceptions led to 2 touchdowns. Because think about this. Coker could have let the error completely out of the ball. You talk about running the A-gap with Willis the rest of the game. We're up 7-0. If Dorsey doesn't throw those 2 interceptions, it's 7-0 going into halftime because with 5 minutes to go, that all happened as opposed to us being down 14-7. A lot of people don't remember that. With 5 minutes to go in that game, we were up 7-0, and they get 2 touchdowns because of those bad interceptions by Dorsey. Like I said, Andre Johnson picked the worst game to have as a Miami Hurricane.
Keep going. It was a weird game. That was a weird game. Miami didn't look like Miami at all.
I don't know if there was a great strip club out there that we all partied and it was varsity blues shit the night before, but yeah, I could agree with that.
I'll tell you exactly what I think it was. I think that night with Miami was the equivalent of Mike Tyson with Buster Douglas. He knew he was going to win, and I think he just didn't go all in, just like Mike Tyson didn't go all in his preparation for Buster Douglas, and Buster Douglas shocked him. That's what happened with Miami. If they would have went all in and been laser focused, they would have probably blown out Ohio State, and this never would have happened.
The one game, LFJ, where Coker got caught. Correct.
Yep,
Yeah.
he did. And let's not forget letting the enemy come the summer that 4 months prior and let you watch our fall practice. You don't think Pee Wee Herman was taking notes there with his vest? I mean, he was a smart dude. I'm telling. I hate that motherfucker. He was a demented Mr. Rogers. So
we don't know if it's true or not, but Nevin Shapiro said it. Nevin was like, I mean, even right before the game, he's like, the guys had girls in the locker room. You know, they were drinking and and all of that. You know, like they just were not really focused for that game.
No, they weren't. Man.
You know, because
that's Larry Coker for you. That's Larry Coker for you. I mean, the guy he was more interested in being liked by the team instead of, you know, being a coach. And I mean, I get it. Butch had left and you didn't want the team to hate you. And I mean, they elected to put you as the head coach. They chose you to be the head coach. But my God, man, Larry Coker had the IQ of a weed eater, man. I mean, goddamn. I mean, he was
blowing chunks. He was blowing chunks the year before in the Rose Bowl, guys. And it's Ed Reed telling him flat out, Coach, we got this. And he's like, oh, I just remember my days when Nebraska used to beat our ass at Oklahoma State. And I'm like, and Ed Reed's like, Coach, we got this. It's like, and it's like, oh, man, just get out of here with that. So, Brandon, you got 30 seconds before I get Lickerdale on here. So, yep, go ahead, brother. So, yep.
And even to that point again, too, I wouldn't doubt it if Larry Coker was probably half scared of half that team. I mean, you know.
So, he probably was. You look like Frankenstein. So
probably why they got him hired so they could tell him what to do.
More like Uncle Fester.
Yeah, Uncle Fester, he did. So
but I'm just hoping, man, that you know, Shannon Dawson, you know, makes the right calls at the right time. Again, I'm with Larry Frank. He doesn't have to call the perfect game, but he damn sure has to call the right game. And you know, I think our defense gonna show up ready to play. And you know that front four is gonna be hell for them boys, man, for sure.
Leave it on the field. That's all I say, Brandon. Agree with me on that. Leave it on the field. If you win or lose, make sure you leave it on the field. And the reason why this episode's called "Robots and Janes Are a Few Shameful Things," because I don't care if the robots and all these people. I ain't scared of Ohio State. I respect them, but I ain't afraid of them. There's a difference right there.
Right.
Yeah. Go Canes. Go
Brandon. Happy New Year to you and your family. Please come back next Sunday because we're going to be celebrating. And you know what? We'll talk about it one way or the other, and we're all going to speak our piece. But Happy New Year to you and your loved ones this 2026. And thank you for coming on the show, brother. Honestly.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year to all y'all too, man. Happy holidays.
Happy New Year, brother.
New Year to you.
You bet.
Okay.
Go Canes.
Hey,
well,
guys,
he's been waiting.
Guys, listen, I'm gonna take my exit right now and get to the fourth quarter here. I apologize, Stallion. Thank you guys.
Thank you, brother, for being on. So you bet.
I appreciate all the time. I'm gonna get back to fourth quarter coming down. You know the Bears in the fourth quarter. Something's gonna happen. So I don't want to miss.
Well, this game's been going back and forth, and I have an interest just because McCaffrey is on my fantasy football team, and he got one touchdown for me. I'd like one more from him, but I hope your Bears still win. But
they just stole an interception from us to get that damn touchdown. So there you
go. I certainly hope they do better than them damn Steelers that I got with that damn Mike Tomlin. But that's another conversation.
They going to the playoffs, LFJ?
It'll be decided next week.
It's all for the division.
Against the
These
Ravens.
idiots. This jackass had the opportunity to win the AFC North. Baltimore wins last night. You know what you need to do. And listen, I love Shador Sanders, but God damn it, of all people, you let Shador Sanders throw a dime for a touchdown pass.
Is that who beat
the Browns? The Browns.
Yes.
You're about to lose the division. And Mike Tomlin, well, the standard is the standard. And they're celebrating 19 consecutive I'm sorry. We're talking. God damn it. Fire that motherfucker.
I'm so sorry for you, LFJ. The only thing is that Aaron Rodgers is still quarterback in that team, so I can't.
And that Browns guy was talking shit to him, too. He called him a bitch and everything there at the end of the game, LFJ. I couldn't believe it. So, that Browns guy was in his face, man. Told him to retire.
Guys, I got to go. Love y'all.
Man.
Talk soon.
Peace.
Happy New Year, brother. Go Canes.
Happy New Year. We'll talk.
Well, listen, he's been waiting patiently. Lickerdale, thank you, brother, for hanging with us. You got 5 minutes. Welcome to Stallion Speaks, brother. I'm going to give you your due and a round of applause for our guy, Lickerdale, joining the show. What's up, Kyle? How you doing?
There he is.
The man.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear him? Can't hear me? Can you hear me? Larry, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Let me log off and come back on.
All right. Well,
I can't hear you.
No worries. Yeah, just log back out and then log back in. We'll get you in, okay? So, that being said, I'm going to go to Anthony very quickly. Anthony, welcome to Stallion Speaks. You got 5 minutes, brother. Speak your piece.
I'm excited for this game, but I have a sinking feeling these ACC refs are going to screw us like they have been through the whole season, to be honest. So
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick. How is it that the ACC is even getting to call this game? Because can Ohio State come back and say, "Oh, well, they were favoring their ACC team"? Like, why is it not the SEC or somebody else? Well, I'm just
I
curious.
said it should have been the Big 12 in Larry's show.
Yep.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I agree with you. I'm not scared of Ohio. I respect them, but they're not as good as their team last year. The team that won the national championship. Do you agree?
Oh, hands down. They don't have the running.
They're not. I mean, they pretty much remind me of oh Lord, I'm trying to think of somebody that won a national championship and in the next year they were favored to win it again and fell off, but I can't think of nobody. But yeah, that's what
Georgia?
it is. I mean,
Georgia would be. I mean, I'll tell you this: Will Howard doesn't get the credit that he deserves. I mean, that was a guy that was a stud at Kansas State. We were talking to him as well as Cam Ward, and it worked out for Ohio State that they went all in on Will Howard, and look what happened there. Honestly, and I think that Sand's a great quarterback. Yes, he's got the completion percentage, but has he really faced the defense? The ferociousness of the defense he's going to face on Wednesday night.
I disagree with the Ohio State fan that came on Larry's panel a few
this morning
today
or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, and I feel that Ohio State's all the swarming tackling to me covers up that they can't tackle individually. They can't stand up on an island by themselves. They have to swarm because they know the guys are going to miss a whole bunch of tackles if you have to swarm. Stallion, I asked Larry this question, but what's your opinion? Do you think if you're swarming, that covers up your weakness in individual tackling, or is it just that's how they teach?
I think that let me tell you this: that there is some bad tackling being shown nowadays. I mean, even when Poisner got hurt last week, I couldn't believe how his arm was there. And I'm not trying. I love Zachariah Poisner. I'm so glad he's on our team. But it's like, man, you got to wrap up. Don't put your arm there. That's how you get it messed up. We were taught neck up so you don't get paralyzed and you drive your shoulder in there. That's how I was taught as a linebacker as a youth, and that's why I threw my body around like a moron.
I think the player safety came from a good place because of CTE and stuff like that, but I think it hurt the fundamentals. Fundamentals and stuff like that. So
well, let me ask you this, Anthony, and I've got your time paused real quick. You asked me that question. I'm gonna kind of ask it and answer it at the same time. Miami's considered the worst tackling team of the 8 teams left at the moment, and so forth. But
that's not true. That's not true. Ohio State's worse.
Yeah, exactly. And so here's my point. But we have guys that are right there in position. We have somebody that slows them down. But very rarely do you see yards after contact. Very rarely do you see yards after contact because there's always 3 or 4 Miami guys. And like I said, Larry, we haven't seen that in 20 years, man. Easily from a defense of Miami. But go ahead, Anthony. Your time's back on.
I made a joke in the chat. To me, Coker is Mike McDaniel for the Dolphins. He wants to be it took him this long to finally discipline that's what happened with Coker. I think the team just tuned him out and did whatever they were doing, to be honest, because Coker wants to be friends with the players. So does McDaniel. Do you agree with that comparison?
Oh, yeah.
You're a Dolphins fan, right, Stallion?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I like them too. Yeah, Titans have become my one, but the Dolphins. Oh yeah, like today they were damn lucky to win to beat the Buccaneers, but that was inexcusable to allow a 70-yard touchdown with like 20 seconds to go and a guy uncovered. You play through the 0-0-0, but I mean, I don't know.
Can you guys imagine if Tomlin, like if let's say hypothetically, if Dawson leaves for another job, because there's going to be a whole bunch of openings this offseason, like during this offseason, there's still openings, I thought, for coaching
There are
coaching jobs,
and there will be
like
more.
That.
There will be more. I mean, because let me just tell you this, and your time stopped. Don't worry about this. But Larry will back me up. There's going to be some guys that might take the NFL job. If there's enough money there. I mean, here's the other thing too, guys.
Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah. I mean, here's the other thing too. If you take a look at what's going on right now, did anybody really envision Kyle Whittingham to become Michigan's next coach? And they had to get with a disciplinarian because, for the love of God, it's been the wild, wild west up there. You have coaches stealing signals. You have coaches stealing credit card information, and you've got a coach that was more intrigued with thirst traps on OnlyFans than he was beating the rival in Ohio State. I mean, it's inexcusable.
Yeah, no, and I've when I saw that hiring in my head, I'm thinking this is just a short-term fix for a long-term problem and stuff like that. I think Kyle Whittingham is only there to stabilize Michigan for the first those 5 years, and then
I can see that.
they walk away. He walks away. He stabilizes for the first 4 years, and he can just get. I think he can get out of the contract after the fourth year. I think the fifth year is just an option. And stuff like that. So,
or they might even have an understudy, like how they handed it off to Jimbo when Bobby retired at Florida State. They might find the next guy.
I actually think it's a good hire. I like the hire.
So? You think so, Larry? Okay.
I think he's out of touch. I think
him.
He's out of touch with these players, Larry.
I
think that's why he left Utah.
I admired what he did at Utah. I mean, and hell, let's not forget he beat Mario twice in the season. So
won some Rose Bowls too. Yeah.
I think it's a solid hire. I mean, his Utah teams generally had pretty good offense over the years.
Yep.
I think if he gets the right staff together, I'm not saying national championship, but I think it puts a Band-Aid on that bleeding wound, with everything else they got going on. And I think Michigan can maintain.
Aren't they still under investigation for the Harbaugh thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they're still.
Do you think they will ever put? You know how they almost put Miami on the death penalty, and they put SMU on death penalty? Do you think they would ever do that to Michigan?
They can't at this point, and I'll tell you why, because they have no credibility at this point. Because of the fact that they don't even really have set rules in place, and there's not anybody with cojones. It's basically the wild, wild west. 20 years ago, absolutely, that would have been on the table. Now, not so much. But you still got 2 minutes. You still got 2 minutes, though, Anthony. Go ahead. What else you got for this game, or the CFP games, if you want to talk about that real quick?
Honestly, I think Texas Tech upsets Oregon. I think Alabama's overrated, to be honest. I think Indiana blows them out because me and you, Stallion, have talked about this, and even Larry. I've said Alabama's too Jekyll and Hyde for me. Can you trust? You don't know what Bama you're going to see. It's either going to be the one that just beat Oklahoma or the one that got blown out by Georgia.
Fucked off against Florida State and Auburn, and was lucky to win one of those two games. Honestly,
they barely beat Auburn.
Yeah,
and they say it's a gritty win.
Yeah, they needed a referee to make a call. I mean, honestly, they did. Auburn had them off the field. That was ridiculous.
I'm going to say this: my X factor is someone that nobody is talking about. It's not Elijah Lawson. It's actually Luka Gilbert. Because to me, Luka fits more this offense that Mario's trying to run because he's a great blocker and he can give you passing ability. Like the tight ends that we have behind him are a better fit for this offense than I like Elijah, but I don't think he fits this offense perfectly, to be honest.
He's kind of a tweener. Like he's got size against him. If this guy was 6'6",
David Njoku, a bigger David Njoku.
If he was 6'6", I mean, he'd be one of the most freakish players. But he's short, and that was but here's the thing: when them American Heritage boys played him, they told Mario flat out this was the best guy we went up against in our run when we played Bishop Gorman that year. And Lofton, has been a little bit injury prone, but you've seen flashes, and this could be a breakout game for him. You never know. I'd love to see it. Couldn't pick a better game to choose it against.
Honestly, I think the whole tight end room is going to have a breakout game because I think that's the one weakness that Ohio State has. Like, it's on the defense. It's stopping the run, and they can't. Their linebackers are more Sonny Styles and Averill Reese are pass rushing linebackers. They can't cover for a lick of sense. And I've talked to Ohio State fans that live around me. that's the one worry, like that they're not going to be able to cover the tight ends this game and stuff like that.
You're right. No, you're right. You got 30 seconds, brother. What else you got before I get Lickerdale back on here? I think he's got his audio problems.
My prediction, I still think it's a close game. We go to overtime. I've been saying overtime, but it's not happening. But I think this Ohio State game is going to be one of these defensive battles, and I think this game definitely probably goes to overtime, or we win on a field goal, because, like, I've said this too. Like, I'm not sure if you and Larry agree with this. Miami and Ohio State are one-dimensional on offense, the opposite direction. We can run the ball, but we can't consistently pass. Ohio State can't run the ball at all, but they're dominant in the passing game. Do you guys agree with that?
I'll agree with it from this standpoint. Yes, they are dominating more pass. They don't have a dominant running back. Maybe their O-line's not built correctly. I would say this about our passing game. I think we try to go downfield way too much and don't
take
gimmicky. What the defense gives us. Because I'm going to tell you this. If Ohio State is going to try to bull rush their linebackers, then I want short shit, because there's a lot that could be said about a Keelan Marion or even Tony taking a pass and really taking it to the house, or giving a little bit of space, or
JoJo Trader,
or even Pringle out of the backfield. Larry, what's your thoughts before we get Anthony out of here and get Lickerdale on here? So
before I go, this is when it comes to the offensive line issues with Ohio State. I think the interior, they're fine with their tackles. Like they feel their tackles can hold up. They're scared more about their interior holding up against our defensive tackles. Their weaknesses are their guards and tackles, because they've had to switch throughout the year. If you guys actually watch Ohio State games, multiple times throughout the season, they've actually had to replace their guards, not because of injury, because they can't hold up consistently throughout multiple games. And like Ohio State has struggled against top 15 defenses throughout the season. They couldn't, like, until the late third, early fourth quarter of the Purdue game. Purdue was shutting them. If you watch that Purdue game, they were getting shut down by Purdue that whole game and stuff like that. They didn't bust out till the end of that third quarter, and they struggled against Wisconsin and, of course, Indiana. And Miami's defense is way better than that. Do you guys agree?
Oh, way better. Way better.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, man. You show up next week. Go Canes. Blessings to you this next year, brother. Honestly. Okay. So, yep. Lickerdale, let's see if we got the audio worked out, brother. Once again, welcome to Stallion Speaks. Speak your piece, brother.
Yo.
Still can hear me? Because we can hear you good. We can hear you
great.
I
hear you. I hear you.
I can hear you if you want to talk.
I hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
I can't hear you, man.
You can't hear us? Well, you talk. You talk. You got 5 minutes. Go. So, yep. You can talk. Yep. See here.
I don't get it. I don't understand what's wrong.
Because I can hear him. So
he's coming in perfectly.
Yeah, he was. Well, when he gets the audio, I'll bring him back on. Anthony brought up some pretty good points there, in regards to, I don't know. I mean, it could be a close game, but realistically, if we come out on fire, Larry, and go up 14-0 and really punch them in the mouth, how do they react? Because I don't think they've been down like that all year, and that's going to be interesting.
I think they self-implode. Because, for starters, you got Ryan Day calling these plays, and yeah, he's been around before. He's been around the block, but to be down 14-0, 10-0, is he going to stick with his philosophy?
You hear me now?
Or is he going to abandon it? Yeah, we hear you. You hear us?
We hear you. Yeah. We can be quiet.
God damn! I'm trying to get on some great nephew. I should be drinking.
No. You always trying to Melvin Bratton about his phone. I'm gonna tell him your shit ain't working.
Happy holidays, brothers.
Happy holidays. Happy
Hey,
holidays.
happy holidays, brother. You bet. So yeah.
I think I'm gonna just cut the chase real quick, and y'all just ask me a question. On the back end. I'm gonna judge this game on our defense and offense. The first 3 drives, because our defense, we bound to give up we bound to get some ass up on that first and second series. But that third and fourth series, that's when the DC, he make his adjustments. The offense wise, I think we're gonna come out passing instead of the run. Because they already expecting us to run the ball anyway. And I think we can run the ball up the gut. I don't think we're good on the edges, because they cornerbacks play strong on the edges, like Texas A&M. So the edge run, like the sweeps and stuff like that, that stuff got to really be set up really well for us to actually make plays off that. The defense played very well on defending the edges. It's between the A and B gap between the tackles is where the money gonna be made at. But I think Beck is really good at changing the running plays, because he learned that at Georgia. So he may be very, more efficient at doing that, making his own call on the field instead of looking to the sideline for the coach to do the shit.
And I hope he does it. Lickerdale, I hope to stop your time, because you got plenty of it. I hope that he really takes this, because this is a make or break game for him. He could shut up all the critics, everybody that doubts him at the next level. This is a game that he has something to prove. People talking about Ruben Bain's short arms, man. Shove that up your ass, man. That guy can ball, man. Short arms.
But I think Beck coming to this game, really, in my opinion, nothing to prove, because he already been on this stage before. So it ain't too big for him. Now the thing is, I'm glad that Dawson got a chance and the DC got a chance to coach last week game, because that was a big game on the road, 100 some thousand coming against you. So that was a big stage for the team, for those coaches. Now, coming to this game here, it's more of a big as the rivalry of the past than the game by game thing. Because one thing about Mario, he knows how important this game is. Not only the 2001 team, which he was coaching on that. No, was he on that team? No, Mario had left.
He was on 2000. He left with Schiano to Rutgers,
he left.
But he was around those guys, though. He knows.
Right, he know all the guys. He recruited all those kids.
Yeah, he's a great assistant.
But the thing is that Mario knows how important this game is, not only for the fan base, but he also understands the recruiting part of the game too. So, and that's why Mario always have his teams ready against these big time games. Now, Jeremiah Smith, my homeboy, we from the same area, Carol City, Miami Garden area. He added a little fuel to the fire, which is a good thing. So it hypes the guys up. But these guys gonna know how to play him, because they've been playing as Little League as Pop Warner at the park against him. You know what I'm saying? And all these guys played high school against him. Out of all those guys back there, the only person that really played with him was JoJo Trader. All the other guys played against him. They done guarded him in high school. At least 3 years of the 4 years. All those guys have guarded him. Now, like you were talking earlier, Frank, on your thing, a guy was commenting, I don't want Brown to guard Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
It's not high school no more. I seen him guard in high school. This ain't high school. These are different players now. Brown, his hips and all that stuff, getting around and getting up the field, that stuff is a little different on how it was coming out of high school. So I think that Frederick would be a lot more better to guard him, because going back to high school, Frederick was better. He was better putting his hands on him back then. I'm talking from experience, seeing these guys that's growing up through 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, leading up to now. Not with most of the fan base just looking at the optics on TV. You know what I'm saying? Frederick better at putting his hands on him and with the leverage and got the height. But then we want, put number 7 over the top. Don't play 13 over the top. Let him just be a free safety and just roam it. Like, and then you put Tate, on Tate's side, you zone that side and put you put Lucas. Lucas is the 10-2 track guy. You put Lucas on his side. He got better. He got a lot more twist to him. And then you put one of our safeties on that side. So now he's more like a roamer than anything. 13 more of a roamer than having to play over the top. Because, you know, when you play over the top, you pretty much, that's your guy. Paying a Jimmy. He's going to get something.
And I'm going to tell you this. The key for me is Keontae Scott, who looked absolutely fabulous the other day. And him and Jacoby Thomas, they may be coming with some disguised blitzes that might rock Julian Sand the next year, honestly.
Now, I'm tell you,
they really will. So
I'm going to tell you the advantage we have when it comes to this game. And I've been talking to a few guys offline, not necessarily they Miami fans, other team fans, but we kind of talk on the phone. I say one thing about this secondary that's put together. They're always cornerbacks coming in college. You know, number 0, he was the number 1 cornerback in the nation coming out of high school. We lucky to play him on the inside now. Because he didn't play outside. Remember when he transferred from Auburn to the other team, they was forced to put him on the outside.
Yeah,
and he's
more natural. He's more natural where he's at now. So
he's more natural on the inside. Yeah. And so and you know, he done bulked up now. So when they try to move Jeremiah Smith, when they see that he ain't getting shit on the outside, they like to move him in the slot. But now we got some guys that can drop down in that slot and guard his ass. We ain't just got a normal safety just dropping down and guard him.
Yep.
And then
Lickerdale, can I ask you a question real quick? And I'll stop your time because I really want your opinion on this. I've argued in the past what's hurt Miami with these quarterbacks that do the quick passes sometimes is that our defensive linemen are so focused of getting after them that we don't stand there and try to bat the ball down. But if you've noticed, we've had many balls batted down over the years. Our guys, you know, the other defensive linemen have fucked us when we've had the ball. My question is, I hope that we have that this time because we did knock down some on Reed, but go ahead. So yeah.
Now the thing that would benefit from us is that we got a chance to see SMU and Louisville crack our score with that. Even though we still could have won the game, even with all the bullshit, we still could have won.
You're right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But however, now these guys more mindful for this now. But the major difference between those two quarterbacks compared to this quarterback, this dude here, he's 6'1". Them guys were 6'4", 6'5" quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah,
they were
that's
big
what I've
guys.
argued. Yeah.
And number 7 for SMU, yes, he was a shorty, but he played more at the shotgun. He played more at the shotgun, and he was actually throwing that shit so to the side that they weren't really getting us up the field. But he was more of a roller. He was more of he was able to roll out the pocket. This guy, he probably can roll out the pocket, but he's not a good quarterback doing that. So I think that I think we match up very well in the secondary. The linebacker play will be important because they can't hit the ball out the backfield to 25 and also they got the homeboy Donaldson. He's from the crib too. He's from down here.
He is.
Donaldson. He played high school with Blunt and
yeah, he played at Miami Central. Yeah, he played at Miami Central.
No, before Central.
Oh, Dillard. At Dillard.
They played at Dillard. They played at Dillard because Blunt was at Dillard before he transferred to Central. Blunt and the dude Johnson that went to number 6 that went to SMU. Johnson. They all them played high school and little league together.
Yeah. We got a question here. That they've asked. Anthony asked, would it make sense to have Bryce Fitzgerald play on the boundary with Zachariah and Jacoby at safety? Because remember, Bryce was an elite corner out of high school. That's what he's asking right there. So that's what I'm saying. These guys were cornerbacks. That's what I was just saying. Columbus. He was at Columbus.
Right. The thing is I would take Fat Reek. He's the weak link out of the guys right now because he ain't really been on the field that much. I will play him out there, which they started him anyway when he was out there, because he got the leverage. They already know Jeremiah Smith like to push off. Well, Fat Reek good with his damn hands too, so he's probably gonna do the push and tug with him, and he done bulked up and got a little bit more strength from high school. So now Jeremiah Smith can just push his ass off now.
I hope somebody jumps a route. And picks six.
Well, this is what you got to look at with that. If you have it to where that happens, and Frederick gets physical with Jeremiah, that would break his route off just enough. I would keep Bryce where he's at.
Get in there.
Yeah, break that route off just enough, and then if Sayin is able to get the ball out there, Fitzgerald's going to pick it. So I would not play him at corner. I'd leave him right where he's at and let Frederick get physical because you're going to have to play man. Do not think you're going to beat Jeremiah playing zone. It ain't going to happen.
Got to be on a man-to-man. Got to be on him.
It got to be man. Yes.
Somebody got to be on him. You play zone. You know, in secondary, you take the top guy. You put your weak guy on him. Not too weak. Not no damn little Timmy like Coach Hayes said. Not no little Timmy on him. You put somebody strong on him. And you man them up and put your safety over the top, and then you zone the other side.
There you go.
And I think they can get away. I think we can get away with. Now Tater's really good. You know, we've seen him play a lot down here too. He played at IMG. He's really well, but he's not a game. To me, he's not a game breaker. Like he's not an impact player. You know, he's a good player. You know, but he's not an impact player unless they make him out of that. But I haven't seen it all season, and their offense not set up for it. And
I'd say Xavier's a physical player. Anthony asked if Xavier's physical enough to bump and run with Jeremiah. Xavier's a big guy. He's more tougher than finesse. I'd say.
Luke. Oh yeah. Lucas there. Lucas, see when they played in high school with Brown, when Brown and Lucas, Brown was the more physical guy and Lucas was the fast guy. You know, all them guys played on high school together at American Heritage. You know, I've seen them play. You know, 2 or 3 years together. But I think Frederick is the better. I would put Fred. If it was me, I would put Frederick on him and man up on him and put one of them safeties over the top and zone out because Lucas is a better zone player to me. He's better in the zone. And Brown is the ideal guy that we want to be there. But Brown game, you know, I love Son Brown. I love him to death. I see him. We dap up. You know, we go back years. You know, I've seen this kid play, but his son been kind of struggling this year. You know, with the injury, he ain't been getting the playing time. So I wouldn't necessarily throw him out there. Now, I would love to see Brown play in the slot because he could play. You know, he could play more with a natural ability in the slot. You know, but our linebackers got to come ready to play because they like to dump the ball out the backfield.
Giovanni's saying Brown's out, by the way. I guess Brown is out.
Okay.
I guess he's going to be out.
Okay, so we have Brown out. So that means the other guy, number 24, he get more burn, which he's been doing pretty well.
Who's that? Ethan O'Connor? Is that O'Connor?
He's been doing pretty damn good.
Ethan O'Connor, yeah, he has. Yeah.
He's been doing pretty good. So and as far as offense wise, like I say, their defense. I mean, we talk about the offense, but Ohio State got a pretty damn good defense too. Yeah. And they pretty good against the run. But it all gonna come back to what everybody been saying already. The big uglies down below, you know, up front. Right. You know, and if our guys show up, and if they guys show up, I still like our guys over their guys. Yeah. And as far as on the defensive end, I can't see them really affecting us unless that damn dude from the Patriots lets he bringing in 6 guys. So I think a lot of deep balls gonna be there. Trust me, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there because he's gonna have to blitz because five is not gonna get to us. Well, because they linemen's like the bull rush. They got to come in with some. They got to come in finesse against our team. Just look at Ohio State tape on their defensive line. They always bull rushing. They not coming in with Bane them slapping guys down, throwing dudes all over the damn place out. They do text them guys all over the damn field. It wasn't just no, I'm gonna use my power, you know. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get off. Cause I know it's only 5 minutes.
No. I appreciate it.
You're gonna have to have real quick. I want to get back on the Miami linebackers. You're gonna have them probably play the game of their lives. You're gonna have to. I want to see Cam Pruitt come out there and continue what he was doing last week. I want to see Torrey. I think he should be all right. Torrey out there, Wesley Pruitt
played as a linebacker last week?
Yeah, he did. He did good. He did special teams as well. Special teams.
Special teams too.
I like Pruitt at linebacker.
He changed that whole thing because with Concepcion with that punt return, he perfectly timed the punt return. And when Concepcion caught the ball, he knocked his ass off. If that ball would have been about maybe 2 inches higher, it would have got fumbled. So
and we would have had 1st and goal down there. So
yeah. I want to see Popo. Popo needs to come out here and do something. Wesley was saying the linebackers are going to have to play probably the game of their life. Plug them gaps and help seal the run. And I just want to see how that turns out.
The thing is, real quick, I hope Heatherman, what the fuck is
Heatherman.
Darth Vader, what the fuck is name? Frankenstein.
Darth Vader, yes.
I hope
that crazy motherfucker.
Because he coached the linebackers. Man, I hope he put his arm around their throat right now on when they were looking through film study, because those guys are very key, especially because a lot of times Jeremiah Smith really get off when do that crossing shit underneath the line and come across. That's what he get off on, and they tight ends do that shit too.
They do.
So hopefully
Wesley's gonna have to have the game of his life. Keep going though.
Hopefully when Jeremiah Smith brings his little skinny ass across the fucking line of scrimmage within the 5 yards, they need to be pushing his ass, knocking his ass off his fucking route.
Yep.
And I'd like to see Torrey knock his block off.
Matter of fact, punch him in his fucking face. Shit.
There you go.
He's the ops now. We love him, but you don't. The crap you've been talking, you for the other team, not guy.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
and real quick, I don't expect you to not ride for your team, but you don't have to be disrespectful to Miami the way that you've been. You could have, been down the middle and not went there about, well, they talking about what happened 20 years ago, but we got something for them. Like, dude, really? What?
And that's why I say it's made personal, because them guys in that secondary, at least the ones that's gonna play. Now we got a lineman, he played with him in high school, and we got a DB that played with him in high school, but I think they redshirted him. But them other guys, they want his fucking teammates. So they always win against him. So they got something to prove against this fucking ass. Only person's teammate was Fred Reed, because they played together as kids as Little League. But they didn't play on the same high school team. So
I think they'll be ready. I think we're gonna be ready for them.
I know they're gonna be ready. They want to play against this. They want to play against this fucking ass. They probably say, wait a minute, dude. You gonna
and if we can run the ball, and if we can run the ball on them like we did A&M, and we control the clock, that keeps their offense off that keeps their offense off the field. So that's going to tire them out. I want to know, they've not played a 4-quarter game, and realistically, the funny thing is between Texas and Indiana, they really didn't play a 4-quarter game. You know what I mean? And you saw they got tired in that Indiana game, and they're going to get tired against our physicality. I want to see who's better conditioned. So
now that's the only thing that scared that I won't say scare me, because the game really dictated. But I know what they probably going to try to do up front at first, and that's why I say them first 3 drives is important. Is that the don't let them go on to, because Ryan Day runs the hair up offense. When he's OC, he runs his speed up. Now offense ain't really been playing like that. They kind of speedy like Texas A&M. Hopefully, we slow that shit down on first 3 quarters, and don't let them get going, because Bain them, they move like palm fucking waters once they ass get fucking tired. Yeah, and we don't need that. So.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this real quick. When Blunt and what's his name get in there, they got the stupid penalty against Lightfoot. They've got to play discipline, because they're weapons, but they can't play stupid and get penalties. The
one I'm worried about is David Blake, because David Blake looks like he's always getting a goddamn stupid ass penalty.
We got to give him one, Frank. He gonna give us one. Hit the goddamn center. He gonna do at least one.
Yeah.
We gotta give him them 5 yards. That's we penalize at least 5 yards. I know that.
I'll tell you guys one thing that I am concerned with, and I will let you go, Lickerdale, in case somebody else wants to come on and so forth like that. But I want to say this: the one guy that we've not really talked about the last couple of weeks, and I don't know if it's because the other teams didn't scheme it, but we need to be prepared for it, because Matt Patricia is a damn good defensive coordinator. Is how does Brockmeyer do with a big defensive tackle in his grill? Because that hasn't been a problem, but Brockmeyer has kind of been the liability of the offensive line. Hasn't shown up, thank God. But realistically, that's the key. Is if they're getting penetration inside like that, that's going to scare me right there.
Okay, let me answer that. Let me try to answer that. I know Frank got something, but let me try to answer that. That guy is not good at run block. He's not good against the running game. Brockmeyer is average running game, but he's better of a pass blocker.
Mm.
All right. So that's why I say it'll be very key that we actually run the ball, because we run the ball, them two defensive tackles, they non-avoid. Everybody that ran through their team already. The tough teams, they ran through them. Michigan was able to run the ball. Indiana was able to run the ball. Who else they played? Texas was able to run the ball. Hell,
Yeah.
they didn't put Texas quarterback as the #1 pick in the draft after that fucking game.
And that's what I'm saying. Baxter ran on them, and Fletcher's a big back like Baxter. In fact, I don't know why they went away from Baxter. Sarkisian called a terrible game that game. Honestly, he really did.
So I don't think Pringle. I don't think Pringle be a factor coming out the backfield. This is not a game that Pringle going to really get off on.
Do you trust Brown? Do you trust Marty Brown to spell Fletcher?
I like Brown. This is a Brown and Fletcher game. It's not just like last game. Last game wasn't a Pringle game.
Yeah,
there wasn't a game for Pringle. That was.
But I will say this: if they are over pursuing Larry Lickerdale chat box, I would love Pringle to be in there and take one of them dump off passes, a running back screen, because I think he could house it. I really do. Maybe I'm wrong. But
that's
a wheel route.
A wheel route.
That's one play that we need to run against Ohio State, because I know they have no choice but to come with 6 against us. 5 ain't gonna make it. They got to come with 6, and that's the running back screen play.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or Purdue ran on them.
The backfield.
Purdue ran on them. Hey, listen, Giovanni, I'd love to see Jordan Lyle out there, honestly, because he was once committed to them. Honestly, if Jordan Lyle wants to show up finally, I don't care who it is. I don't give a damn if we win by 1 point, just as long as we fucking win on Wednesday night.
See, the thing is, all the reason why them guys was trying to push forward going up there, because Miami wasn't proving that they can do shit down here.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. They couldn't do shit down here. That's why they were hauling ass, and that's why I say Mr. Smith ran up out of town. He already know he was good enough to get to the league. You know, he had all the stuff going for it, but he wanted to go to a winning program. That damn wide receiver coach.
But he fought like hell with that decision, because he waited till the very end. He really was. He was torn between staying home and going up there.
We had no quarterback.
Right.
We have Cam at the time. We had no quarterback.
Right.
But the thing is now that his ass is out of fucking town, talking that shit like he been smoking that wacky weed up there since he's out of town. These guys, Fred Reek, all them guys, Brown, all them guys in that secondary. Hey, guy, you beat us in high school. We got a chance to get, because he beat them in high school. He beat them in high school. They seminar beat those guys. Now they got another chance at them. They got another chance at them, and now by talking that noise, open up. I love Smith. He's a good guy. I know some of his family members, but we got to punch him in his fucking shit now, dude. You playing against the crib. Your family know what it is. You done made it personal, so let's keep it personal. Yeah. That's between it. It's not about right now with the stuff Smith talk about. It's not against University of Miami. He talks shit against his fucking boys. He come home and run the streets with.
Yeah.
Right.
He made that personal with them. Not necessarily University of Miami. He made that personal to them cats.
With those players, those individual
guys that he personally know.
Facts.
That's
Lickerdale, before you get out of here, give me a prediction. What do you got? Score or how many points? Overtime? What you got?
Like I told you guys about 3 weeks ago. And I said it, I think 2 weeks ago on Frank's show. Whoever was the winner out of Oklahoma and Alabama was going to make it to the championship on their end, and whoever was the winner out of Texas A&M and Miami and on our side of the bracket was going to make it to the Natty, and it's going to be Alabama against Miami, and I'm going to still stick by that because I think Alabama really going to surprise. Alabama got their mojo back. They got their mojo back, and they learned a lesson from Georgia, and Oklahoma just. Certain times when you're playing against teams, some coaches can coach against other teams. They just could coach against them. Mario can coach against Ryan Day. Maybe not with Chip. Maybe not Chip Kelly, but he can coach against Ryan Day team because he done beat Ryan Day team. Not Chip Kelly. He beat Ryan Day teams. And I just feel that since we be Texas A&M, I can't see nobody stopping us. Now I would rather play Georgia than Ole Miss. Ole Miss will beat us.
Mhm.
Ole Miss the toughest team to me on our bracket.
They got a lot to prove. You talk about Miami's will to prove something. Ole Miss wants to give a big fuck you to Kiffin.
Yeah.
Giovanni, I'll keep Lickerdale on here real quick. You have one question for him. Ask it very quickly. So go ahead. So yeah, if you got a question for Lickerdale, he said he wanted me to keep you on so he could ask you one more thing. So yeah, but go ahead, Giovanni, ask it.
And while you're waiting on that question, I'll say this, man. Wouldn't that be crazy if Alabama and Miami match up in the national championship, and those are two teams that everybody said,
Didn't
shouldn't have got in. They didn't want them to be in there.
That's
I
why
would love
predict
that.
Yep. You'd have a lot of talent on that field. So yeah. I got Jay about to come on and so forth. So Giovanni, if you got that question, because I got to let Lickerdale go and get another guy on here and so forth. So, but I'll give it to you real quick if you can get it in here in the next 30 seconds. So yeah. By the way, I love that the chat box is really hopping. Honestly, Anthony put here. To be honest, I think it's Texas Tech that makes it, not Bama. I mean, honestly, I want to see what Texas Tech brings.
He hurt.
Is he hurt?
Texas hurt. He got hurt. He's going to play, but he got a bad limb. They finna be on his ass.
Texas Tech is not beating Oregon, and I don't like Texas Tech. I don't feel like they played anybody. Yeah, they did what they were supposed to do, but now they're about to play some real competition. So, I think it's a lot of overratedness.
The speed finna hurt Texas Tech.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
Dan Lanning's built Oregon pretty good too. Not that he really had the job Mario had to do. Mario left it pretty decent for him, honestly.
He left him a defensive line and offensive line.
Yep, for sure. Well, Lickerdale, listen, I'm gonna get you out of here. I got Jay backstage, brother. Listen, Happy New Year to you and your family this year. And let me tell you this: go Canes, and we'll be back next Sunday to talk about it, win, lose, or whatever. So honestly, yeah, for sure. So
yes,
I got you. I looked out for you, Frank, on what, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Tuesday night, we're going to preview the game, and I talked with D. I think Jay has suggested it, actually. I think we're going to do a post-game Wednesday right after the game, but definitely Tuesday night. We'll come back with that post-game if we do it directly after the game, but definitely Tuesday night.
Sounds good.
Happy holidays. Salute.
Happy holidays, brother. Salute.
Yes, sir. Happy holidays.
Jay, thank you for waiting backstage, brother. Listen, I know you always bring the heat, but brother, speak your piece. Welcome to Stallion Speaks, man. So for sure.
Hey, what's going on, Larry Stallion? What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother? Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year, man. Merry Christmas. I appreciate it. Same to you. Jeremiah, I can't really say too much. What his mom wanted him to come. His mom wanted him to come to Miami, and let's just say Bill was texting the mom. I could leave it as that. If y'all.
Hello? Oh, there you
go. We lost you for a second.
We lost you. So you said something about they texted the mom and you.
Yeah,
and
they was doing a lot of behind the scene things. Can't really say too much, but he was coming here for sure.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, that thing went into like what, 9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night that night?
The 11th hour. He was debating because I thought he was going to actually come because it's I was like this. If you were so gung-ho on Ohio State, why did it take you so long to sign that letter, until the 11th hour? So, yeah.
He had a sign. He had the hat in the bag. And this is what I can say, though. If Miami had got Cam Ward earlier, he would have definitely came to Miami.
Oh, I believe that.
Yep.
I believe that 1,000%. I believe that 1,000%.
About the game, I'm going to keep saying it. Jordan Lau, if was healthy throughout the whole year, would have been the perfect running back for this game because that outside run, remember Jordan Lau popped for 99 yards versus USF. He has that breakaway speed where If he pop, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And he has great balance. Just been a lot of nicked up. If I'm Heatherman, I'm putting if I have to, I don't want to, but let's just say they move Smith over to O'Connor, put a safety over the top. We Zachariah Poser is 6'2". He's a lanky safety. He could bring some heat. Um, the linebackers have to play very, very, very disciplined. I just found out that Torrey has another year, so he could come back.
And
Mm-hmm.
he probably will.
He
He
has
should.
another year, that COVID year, and he sat out a whole year because he was injured.
The injury. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he could
Yep.
come back. Damari Brown, when healthy, is the best cornerback on this team.
Right.
Hands down. It's just that he gets nicked up so easily. And it sucks because I know this game right here would have
Means a
had
lot.
his would have had
Yeah.
his draft stock going up into next year. Because if
Right.
he wherever JJ go, he would have went. So the thing how you get JJ is you gotta be physical with him. You have to be physical. OJ's physical, but OJ ain't fast. That's the problem I have with OJ. I don't know if OJ struggles with bigger receivers or small because Chris Bell from Louisville gave OJ problems. And Chris Bell is not as physical, but he's a big body as Jeremiah. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would put Lucas on Jeremiah only because of the height and the speed of being there and put somebody over the top. Wherever Jeremiah go, have somebody over the top. Leave, leave, leave OJ with Tate. Leave OJ with Tate. Tate is not physical at all. Tate is a route runner. He's not physical. Play off him, give him some cushion. OJ don't bite at all. Don't bite on nothing. Don't bite because I've been watching Tate. He's a smooth route runner. On our side of the ball on offense, you got to go at number 7. Anytime you get a chance to go at 7, you got to go at 7. Do not play behind the sticks. You need second and 2. I mean third and 2, third and 3, the most. You don't need third and 4, third and 5. Don't leave the ball. Don't leave the ball game in Carson Beck's hands. It has to be a team effort. You gotta run hard. You gotta play disciplined football. And like I said, you don't know who's Julian saying because he never been underneath them lights. You don't know who you're getting. As much as you want to talk shit about Carson Beck, you don't know what you're getting in Julian saying. He never been to that stage
Right.
before. They never played nobody with that D line before. They haven't played a good Big Ten team with a D line. Texas Tech is a fraud. Oregon is a fraud. Oregon is horrible. I don't care what nobody say. Oregon is trash. I would love to play Oregon in the national championship. Oregon is trash. I keep saying it. They are trash. They're not good. They're not physical. They're not physical at all. JMU put up 34 points on Oregon. JMU. So imagine what Miami could do.
Jay, I'd argue that the bottom half of the bracket, one of the, I mean, listen, all 8 of these teams, they've been talked about all year. But if you're looking at the meat of it, the 4 at the bottom, the Ole Miss, the Georgia, Miami, Ohio State, it's going to be one of them 4 that hosts the trophy.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe
I
that.
think
So yeah.
this is how I see it. If we could get past Ohio State, Georgia played the same football we play. They play big and physical football. That's how
Mm-hmm.
Georgia play. They play big. They have fat. To me, Georgia have stronger linebacker play than Ohio State. I done
Mm-hmm.
seen Indiana smash over Ohio State. Arville Reese get lost up in the pile. I done seen it. The thing I keep telling people all the time, and everybody keep watching the media, you got to watch football. You got to sit down and watch football. You
Or go
can't go
back
off
and
of
watch them.
highlights.
Yep. Yep.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
When you sit down, I sit down and I watch an hour and some change of Indiana. And you know what Indiana showed me? They showed me the whole game. They weren't scared. They weren't scared of Ohio State. They weren't intimidated of okay, you got Jeremy, but they weren't scared to take chances and scared to take risks. In order for Miami to win this game, at some point during the game, you gotta make a couple big plays. Either
Mm-hmm.
an interception, either a pick six, either a strip fumble, a strip sack, either a bomb by JoJo touchdown. You got to make several big plays. You have to make several big plays. It won't be no win. I think Carson Beck will be ready. He looks poised. You give him time, and I'm not warning about McDonald because if Brockemeyer needs help, we got Mark Fletcher there. Mark Fletcher is 6'2". He has blocking support. I'm not worrying about Markel Bell either. Markel Bell has showed me a great transformation this year coming in from JUCO. If not, he's probably a top 10 tackle right now if he leaves. Right now, if he leaves, he's a top 10 tackle. Hawaii State O-line is a problem. And I keep saying it. Their right guard is an issue. And Josh Simmons is out. Let these guys go at Julian. He's going to have to show me. I don't know if y'all saw the play where he was running for his life. Julian Sanders was running for his life so much that his shoe fell off and went into the stands. He never got pressured like that. When he did, you see what he do.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this: the physicality of Miami.
Exactly.
I can't undertone that enough, guys. They're rough. They're rough.
Stallion, we have depth.
Yeah.
Blunt, Lightfoot, Booker Pickett. Oh, and hey, listen, I don't know if y'all peep. If they really want to, we could throw in Hayden Lowe in there if you really want to. Because he's not out. He's not out. He's not out or probable. He's healthy. I think they're gonna redshirt him for next year. We got depth. We could put Blunt on the edge or up in the middle. Hawaii State haven't played nobody with strong trenches all year. They have not. And you have Keontae Scott back, who's going to be there for run support with Jacoby Thomas. You don't move Bryce Fitzgerald. You keep him at safety because he's a ball hawk. You keep him exactly where he is because when that pressure comes, mistakes will happen. And I'm going to say another thing. Who's to say Julian Sand won't get hurt? He's real fragile. He's not quick.
That's what I want. That's what I want everybody to pay attention to. You start seeing who starts limping to the sideline like A&M.
Right.
I knew we were the tougher team. Right. I knew we were. They didn't want none. It's like Dame in Creed 3. You soft. I just want to say it once. You soft.
I'm so happy. I watched the play. They were trying to catch Torrey with a wheel route versus Texas A&M, and he picked it up so quick. I'm happy for him, dog. I'm not worried about the linebacker play, Larry. I think we got Hawaii State. I know we got their number, bro. I think we win by 10.
I think we win by a comfortable 10 points, guys. I really do. I'm not worried.
Every possession has to be a score. You cannot have no pointless possessions at all. Every possession has to have a score.
And there ain't going to be no 25-mile-per-hour wins because in a dome like that, Cam will make those kicks. He will make those kicks.
He's not a bad kicker.
He's not. He's been great all year. It was one weird game. He missed like that, honestly. So, yeah. One weird game.
I think, listen, like I said and I told Larry, if it's 13-20 or 14-20 and Ohio State has the ball back and they need a touchdown and it's a minute, let's just say 45 seconds, or even let's just say 2 minutes, they're on the 20. They're on Ohio State 20. They got to drive that ball. I'm telling you right now, that's the perfect situation I would like to have because I'm just going to send my boys at them. As much
kind of like Notre Dame, kind of like the Notre Dame thing.
Right. So, as much as we're talking about Patricia, ain't nobody talking about how Heatherman got this defense looking real good, bro. We always raving about Patricia. If he's such a great coach, how you lost to a bunch of G5 players?
I'm going to throw this out there. Jay, I'm going to throw this out there, and I got to let you go because I got Chris Kane waiting backstage too.
No problem.
But I'm going to say this. No, but listen, brother. No, you've been bringing it. I love it. You've brought up very big points. One more thing I want to bring up to answer that too is the fact, if you think about this, is that you look at nobody's talking about. Let's maybe see if Dawson redeems himself. He couldn't have called the worst game last time. Maybe he puts it together and calls a fantastic game.
Wait. I'm going to just say this. Literally, give me 3 seconds. Let me just get this out.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
Let me just get this out. He didn't call a bad game. I went back and looked. He teased them. I want you to go back and look at that Texas A&M game. He wanted to figure out, what are you doing? And when he figured it out, just like when Heatherman played defense, he played a basic defense, and he figured out, what are you doing on offense? And after that, he clamps on it. Dawson took that same approach. I know it might sound crazy to what I'm saying. When they figured out, okay, cool, you're not changing nothing, and Fletcher's running for 10 yards, we running the football the whole game.
Yeah.
Because they could have been did that the whole entire game. But they made Texas A&M lackadaisical. That's why the game was going like that. They made it lackadaisical. I think
that.
Dawson is gonna open up this motherfucking playbook. He's gonna open this shit up, and I think the fans gonna be like, damn, don't hey, remember what I said. I'm gonna leave it as this. Malachi Tony is gonna be the decoy the whole game. He's
Yeah.
going to be the decoy the whole game because Patricia coming in this game, wherever 10 go, I don't need him to get the ball. Remember what Larry said. When Malachi Tony's on the field, you don't know if he's throwing the ball, running the ball, or catching the ball. And that's how Ohio State going to lose. That's
Right.
how Ohio State going to lose.
I love it.
Stallion, Larry, I appreciate y'all. A final score is going to be 20 to 14. I'm giving Ohio State 14. I think Miami gets the edge. I think we seal the game with a strip sack or an interception. We got to run the ball, play discipline, X's and O's. I'm not worried about Jeremiah Smith. Hopefully, y'all could do like a post game after the game. I appreciate y'all. Like, share, subscribe, man. Go Kings. I appreciate it.
We love you, man. Happy New Year to you and your family, brother. Honestly. Jay always bringing the heat, Larry Frank. Real quick, I'm going to get Chris Kane in here. Listen, 5 minutes because we've kind of gone over, but I love the talk. I love it. Everybody needs to speak their piece. Chris Kane, brother, welcome to Stallion Speaks, brother. Brother, I want you to speak your piece.
Yeah. What's going on, y'all?
What's
Hey,
up, brother?
man, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I got to go back in there and bag out. But listen, the only thing we need to do, we need to play our game. Okay, no undisciplinary penalties that we got to go ahead and get. No unnecessary penalties. No craziness. Now I'm gonna tell you something about that Texas A&M game. Fitzgerald got away with one with throwing that guy on that sideline in front of that Texas A&M bench. They wanted a flag, and that should have been a flag. But I'm gonna tell you something though. That's for one of the times that they actually was supposed to not call a flag on us when it wasn't a play, when it wasn't a penalty, and we actually got one. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is this. Mario, you know what it is. You know what they're gonna do with Jeremiah Smith. You know they're gonna go ahead and gonna try to double. You know they're gonna try to do the same thing to us with Malachi Tony. But don't forget about Brandon Ennis and do not forget about Tate. Those guys can catch as well. That's top NFL quality players. Okay, so what we got to do is we got to be fundamentally sound and we got to be ready to play our game. Okay, it's gonna be one of those games where, like my man was saying, like saying they ain't never been on no stage like this. You know what I'm saying? Beck has 2 national championships. Last I checked, even though he was on the bench, he was still on that team.
You was.
But at the same time, he watched, he looked, he understood. And even though that he went ahead and he went against Ole Miss and they beat the crap out of him, he still led Georgia to the SEC championship. So he knows what it's like to be in this type of situation. Unfortunately, he got hurt though. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, he understands what the formality of this game. This is what Fletcher is coming back for. This is what Malachi Tony's there for. This is why C.J. Daniels came there. C.J. Daniels came there. Marion came there. All of these guys is coming there. Fitzgerald doing this thing. Everybody has a purpose because the ones who were there last year know how close they were to getting to the playoffs. They know. And now that they've done that, they're going to go ahead and they're going to handle their business. They have no choice. You have to play your game. Do not play into anything else. And for Jeremiah Smith, I love you, brother. You from the crib and everything else like that. You are from the home that I've never been to in my life. Okay? But one thing about it, though, you made a mistake. You opened your mouth and you said the wrong shit that came out your mouth. Okay? So now you're going to have to be reprimanded for the shit that you say. Okay? Now, as far as that, they say Jeremiah Smith is going to be a problem. Brandon Ingram is going to be a problem. Tate going to be a problem. Cornell Tate going to be a problem, and all this other kind of stuff. The thing is that they got to get the ball to their hand. If Bain, Mesidor, and everybody else get to that damn quarterback, they're neutralized. Okay, Fitzgerald come across that middle and pick that ball off. He's neutralized. Jacoby come through there and knock his damn block off. He's neutralized. Now, I don't want to see nobody get hurt. I don't want to see anything like that. But I want everybody to understand something. I want everybody to hear me and hear me good. And I'm about to leave on this note. Everybody knows how personal this game is, including myself. Okay? I was a junior in high school when I was watching this game. And I sat there, and there was a woman that I was talking to, one of my classmates who was an Ohio State fan. Okay? Me and her were supposed to go out that night. When she found out that the Buckeyes won and everything like that, it was played for banter. We went out on that date, or whatever the case is. I left her ass there. She got to be picked up by somebody else. I don't play that shit. Don't throw that shit in my face like that. Don't ever throw the U down in my face. Don't ever do nothing like that. I haven't spoken to her since from that day, and I don't give a shit. When I love hard, and I hate deeper. Okay.
Hey, but
So
hey, before you go, what about me, man? I got betrayed by a guy I thought was my brother and best friend, insulted my parents, and he vandalized the very house that he didn't want to stay at his own house without bringing that up or whatever like that. And you're gonna bring your frat brothers and be cowards while we're asleep at night and spray paint Miami sucks, OSU rules, and dump Tostitos chips all over my yard.
Yeah, I remember when you said that. No, I ain't got nothing for you. And the thing about it is, just remember the ones who played in that game. Just remember the ones and how they felt when they played that game. Remember the ones who felt like that, and that referee that was there hasn't been heard from ever again.
Terry Porter. Yep.
He ain't never been heard from again. So therefore, and he was also a graduate of Ohio State, from what my records say, from what I understand. So that's the whole main reason why. And Glenn Sharp, I'm sorry, my brother, but that was not a pass interference. Everybody know that wasn't a pass interference. That was on some bullshit. And the thing about it is, I would love to rewatch that game, but I do not want to get angry all over.
It's tough.
It's tough to watch that game, and that just we need this.
Yeah, we need this. No, we need this. We need this, Chris, because realistically, brother, and if you got to go, you got to go. You can stay as long as you want. But honestly, it is personal. I've got a lot of friends that are Ohio State fans, and they like born and bred like we're born and bred in Miami, and that's fine. You can root for whoever you want. But at the end of the day, for these fans that are like, oh, get over it, that was 20 years ago, you ain't suffered like this program has. I watched that U part too. I mean, it's just been flat out embarrassing, and it's been tough to be a Canes fan ever since that night, honestly. But we've stuck with it, and I'm hoping that the reward is there for us January 19th in our own home stadium when we're hoisting the fucking national championship.
And the thing about this is, and I want everybody to understand, Ohio State's line, yeah, they have the defense. Yes, they have the offense. They have all of these things. But one thing about it, all the pressure's on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Not on ours. We weren't supposed to be there. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, we were always the ones that were not supposed to get in. We were the ones that were not supposed to be there and everything else, but we're there. And now you have Ohio State, who had a little cupcake and Pop-Tart schedule, except for a few games. They got exposed.
Yep.
But understand something. They have all the pressure on them. We have nothing to lose. We've done our bid.
We've
done our bid.
Mm-hmm. We're all in.
You rattle that offensive line, you rattle the quarterback. When you rattle the quarterback, you rattle the wide receivers. Because without that quarterback, without the offensive line blocking for the quarterback, Jeremiah Smith and nobody else won't be able to get no ball. So you disrupt those two things, they'll be neutralized. So that's my time for right now, and I'm about to get back in here and bag. I'm gonna start.
Happy New Year, brother. No,
Happy New Year to you, bro.
Next week, man. Go Canes, baby, always. So you bet.
Always.
You run this thing.
You already know. Yes, sir.
You already know. Guys, what a fire show tonight. What a fire show tonight. You know, I'm going to say this much real quick. I got just a couple minutes. Larry had to go. I want to thank him, Anthony, Jay, Lickerdale, Brandon, everybody that was in the chat box, Shane O'Mac, Coach, Michael Lynn, Chris Merritt. I'm telling you, Chris Smith, Merritt. I'm just saying that tonight was awesome. I can't thank you guys enough. All the love and support. For the one subscriber that did unsubscribe, I probably know who you are or whatever like that. I hope you have a rotten new year because I know who it was and so forth. And more than anything, it is what it is. These things happen and so forth like that. But just know I'm better off, and I don't need your support because I definitely didn't need you as a coworker back then and so forth. And I'm better off right now. I know you ain't watching this, but that's a fact. 2026 is going to be a great year for this family, the Rebels with a Cause family. I can't stress enough how great these next shows are going to be coming up with my guys, Kerry Reeve, Two Pair Tate, the Tower of Power, Brian Holloway, and obviously Coach's Corner with Shane O'Mac. This channel is going to grow. Hopefully I can get Rocky a show on this channel. But more than anything, it's just one of those things. And I do feel sorry for Glenn Sharp, too. I mean, that guy didn't deserve that. He was a stud freshman. Him and Greg Treat, that group, I mean, they were out there. And I still remember what Mark Stoops said. Nobody's going to make that call. You jam him and you play him. And that ref literally, I mean, fireworks going off, helmets in the air and so forth. And it's like you got to pick yourself up and literally play again. I mean, the confetti was going. Was there even any confetti when Ohio State won? I don't even remember because I was so in shock when Dorsey's pass fell to the ground. But the truth of the matter is that we've suffered as a fan base, and we need this on Wednesday night. We need this more than anything. So, and I'm just going to tell you this, is that I want everybody to just be ready on Wednesday night. I'm going to say this. I've had more people tell me beat Ohio State when I've been wearing Miami gear around here than I've ever had before. I can't believe the support. I mean, usually we're the ones that, they want us to lose. And it's kind of interesting how that narrative's changed when 20-something years ago, they wanted Ohio State to win. And we were the assholes for being 34-0 and looking like the best team in the country. But that being said, we can right a lot of wrongs. And with Cristobal in charge, I will say this much. We win a natty this year in year 4, and we've got these big players, big-time players that are going to commit, and we keep this thing rolling and get some transfers. The sky's the limit with this program. We may not look back because I don't think Cristobal has the desire to go to the NFL, and we've got the right people in place at the top. The president is all in. We've got the right people on top. We're spending the money. Now we need to reap the rewards for the money that we've spent, for the heartache and everything that we've put in as Canes fans, okay? The hurt that we've suffered, the ridicule. We've been a laughingstock for a while now. And watching the U Part 2, it's like, I just can't believe it. I just can't get over it. And it's been this long. And, until your program goes through what we've gone through, whether it was self-inflicted or not, don't talk to me. Don't literally talk to me about football. But that being said, Wednesday night, I just want to leave it out on the field. I want to make sure that we belong there. And if they're better than us, then they're better than us. But I think we're better than them. And I think that we're going to win 10 points. Mark it down. I've got 24-14. Miami wins. 24 is going to be enough to get it done this time. And there's not going to be a flag that's going to stop it. And if the ACC refs do intervene in such a way, I would hope that we get some investigation and so forth, because if it's that same ref from that SMU game, that crew doesn't even deserve to coach a middle school game. No offense to those kids. I love you guys. But that crew doesn't even need to be in an important magnitude of a game like this. And I wouldn't wish this crew on any of the other 3 quarterfinal games either. They are absolutely abysmal, and it better not be this crew. But if it is, it is. But do not play stupid and get stupid penalties. Play your game. Leave it all out on the field. Make sure that you let them know if they beat us, they had to earn it to beat us. Don't lay down and fold like a cheap seat. That is my advice. Miami fans, Wednesday night could be the end of 1 year and the start of a new year. And I really believe by about 11:30, midnight, however you toast it in, we will be one of the final 4 teams getting ready for the Fiesta Bowl, and we need to exercise that demon. But let's exercise this one Wednesday night. I'm not going to do an idiot of the week this week because that's next week. But this week I want to end this show with it's all about Miami. I love this team. I know I've been hard on them, but I've been hard on them because I knew that they were more capable of it. You've got a whole group behind you. The fans, whether you're with Mario, whether you're against, we've united. We are Canes. And it's a Miami thing, and you'll never understand unless you live it. Seriously. Born in the 305, I may be up here in the 865, may have graduated with a degree from the 865, but my heart will always be, and I will always die, 305. James A. Freeman Jr., Miami Hurricane, born in 84, and whenever that last year goes, it better say he was a damn good Cane. Nobody can question that. So, guys, I love you all. I want to wish you all a prosperous 2026, all of us. Whether you had hard years, 2026 will be a year for all of us. Blessings to all. I love you all. Thank you for the support and lifting me up during these tough times. And keep me in your prayers, my family in your prayers. I keep you in my prayers. I love you all. We ain't just a crew here at the Rebels with a Cause. We now a family, just like you talk. So for all my guests tonight, the great Larry Frank, Rocky, this is the Italian Stallion signing off. Go Canes. Go whip some Buckeye ass.
I'm a stallion, speaking loud, no chains. From the heat of Miami where we play no games. Boxing gloves down, but my mouth still swings. Trash talk soft like a scorpion sting. Stallion speaks. Yeah, the truth don't hide until you're wrong. You late night guy from the ring to the mic where the real collide. Stallion speaks of the untamed tide. Stallion speaks. On the untamed tide. Gloves off mic, feel the fire ignite. When the stallion speaks, there's no polite. From the edge of the ring to the edge of your seat, I'm the voice that